Robot building walls, I'm building bridges to greatness, demanding excellence, no time for complacence. Act right or act out, the choice is always clear. My presence is my power, my standards draw the line here. Elevation, protocol, rising above the chaos, taking control. My values not negotiable, my worth is my law. Surrounding myself with excellence, that's what I saw. I'm not building walls, I'm building bridges to greatness, demanding excellence, no time for complacence. Act right or act out, the choice is always clear. My presence is my power, my standards draw the line here. This is the elevation, protocol, rising above the chaos, taking control. My values not negotiable, my worth is my law. Surrounding myself with excellence, that's what I saw. This is the elevation, protocol, rising above the chaos, taking control. My values not negotiable, my worth is my law. Surrounding myself with excellence, that's what I saw. I'm not building walls, I'm building bridges to greatness, demanding excellence, no time for complacence. Act right or act out, the choice is always clear. My presence is my power, my standards draw the line here. I'm not building walls, I'm building bridges to greatness, demanding excellence. No time for complacence. Act right or act out. The choice is always clear. My presence is my power. My standards draw the line here. Bridges to greatness, demanding excellence, no time for complacence. Act right or act out, the choice is always clear. My presence is my power, my standards draw the line here. I'm not building walls, I'm building bridges to greatness, demanding excellence, no time for complacence. Act right or act out, the choice is always clear. My presence is my power, my standards draw the line here. I'm not building walls, I'm building bridges to greatness, demanding excellence, no time for complacence. Act right or act out, the choice is always clear. My presence is my power, my standards draw the line here. My standards draw the line here. My standards draw the line here. I'm not building walls.
All right, how you doing, ladies and gentlemen? How you doing? Welcome to This and That. I'm your host Xander, where we're talking about this, that, and everything in between. I was doing some research up until the show tonight. We got some information for y'all for tomorrow. We're gonna be going into it. We're live 7 nights a week, and what like 15, 20 minutes late today. We do not let the sun rise without going live, but we don't always start on time, and that's why we ask you guys to like and subscribe, and then go ahead and hit the notification buttons and match those reaction buttons while you live on the show. Joshua. So I guess he just testing to see if we alive. We are live. We are in fact, truthfully live. Joshua. There, I said your name twice. He said, "Can you say my name on the show?" Yes, yes, I can. I already liked. I meant subscribe to your videos. Hey, I appreciate it. You can do both. It didn't match the reaction buttons. Tonight we're doing questions and comments from the fans. That's typically what we do on Sundays. He just sound like a disappointed. I didn't say that like you fucked up, Joshua. How do you know? I was just testing if you guys are actually going live because you just threw up a random text message like "say my name," like we in the middle of some BDSM, like "say my name," like Diddy style, Joshua. This is a highly interactive podcast. We try to stay appropriate majority of the times. And it is live. It is the live button indicates it's live. This isn't a pre-recorded show or anything to that effect. It is legitimately a live broadcast. So we're live 7 nights a week. We typically start around about the same time, closer to half past the hour because of daylight savings time. I just really don't have the motivation to start at the top of the hour. I don't know why. I'm near this chair right before the top of the hour, and then I get up to go and make myself a cup of coffee and other things, and then I end up in a situation where it's like 20 minutes past, and then I'm like, fuck it. Joshua. So then I ended up, then by the time the 5-minute intro finished, which was a custom song from Alatino Music out in Switzerland, then all of a sudden it's like 15, 20 minutes behind. So, but after daylight savings time is over, where time goes back an hour, then I'm like 5 minutes after the top of the hour, like I'm on time like a zombie. Because technically it's 30 minutes later than this because time go back an hour. So I start sooner. So I kind of found an equal medium between daylight savings time and procrastination, color people time. And I just start the show whenever I start the show. So that's why I tell you guys to like and subscribe and hit those notification buttons so that when we do go live, you guys get the updates at the top of the hour. So we give you guys a lot of beneficial information throughout the week. Sundays typically is questions and comments from the fans. Questions is about how to fix your life, not questions about me. If you want to do like interpersonal things about me, you kind of have to join the membership and then be in one of the membership shows. Then we can talk about me. I appreciate it, Joshua, but for the public, I give you guys information on how to make alternative decisions. So what happens is that you guys tell me what within reason you're concerned about, and then I kind of give you guys some reasonable options to resolve that. Usually it's decisions that negatively impact your money either directly or indirectly. So I kind of give you guys information on how to make different decisions that will not negatively impact your finances, because something as simple as having a disagreement with your spouse leads to you buying gifts to make up with your spouse, which is a waste of money. Something like disappointing your children leads to spending extra money to make your children not hate you anymore, and that's a waste of money. Something like not scheduling around the values of the other people in your household could cause you to take an unscheduled day off so that you could be present for something that wasn't on your calendar, and that takes money out of your pocket because it's an unscheduled day off. These are the things that negatively impact your money. Then it's purchase power, buying things that you don't need to buy to make yourself feel good or to show off for other people, buying things for your partner so that they can show off for other people, guilt trips where your family and friends make you feel bad because you got more money than them because they make bad decisions, and then you got to spend your money on them to bail them out of bad decisions. All of these things negatively impact your money, and these are the things that leads to you having a higher cost of living, because your cost of living includes all of the decisions that you make in your personal life that cost you money. Gas money to a friend, donating your car and then it gets crashed, bailing somebody out of jail, mortgaging your house to bail somebody out of jail. All of this stuff costs you money. Now, what happens is, to cover these expenses, you then start begging for extra hours from your boss. You start putting pressure on your boss for raises and promotions when you don't have the ability to get those extra hours, then you get pissed off because your boss can't give you nothing else. You don't qualify for promotion, whatever the case may be, probably because you're taking too many days off, or coming in late and leaving early because you're having problems at the house, which is other things that cost you money. Because when you go to work late, that costs you money. When you got to leave from work early, that costs you money. And then that messes up your reputation on a job, which then messes up your qualifications for higher positions, which messes up your qualifications for higher pay. All of that boils down to now you're trying to quit your job and go find another job because you hate your current job because your current job doesn't pay you enough money to cover your bad decisions. That's really the problem. Then you start over with a new job where that job is paying you the same amount of money or less than your old job, but you don't hate this job because this job, you have to work your way back up to where you were with your last job. Instead of just changing the way you make decisions so that you don't have to spend so much damn money, and then you can find a way to sustain your standard of living, start up your own business, and then work for yourself and then transition from that job to becoming your own boss. That's some of the stuff that we talk about on the show on a regular basis in many different ways. Is that your boss will give you a raise from the seat of your pants, from the boot on the ground to the seat of your pants. He'll give you a raise. My boss gave me a raise one time, and then I was mad, but I couldn't stop laughing. My boss was like 6 inches shorter than me. I asked him for a raise. He took a step stool, he put it in front of me. He said, "Stand on this." Then when I stood up on it, he said, "Congratulations, you just got a raise." And that was it. I'm up off the ground. I was like, "Nah, man, a pay raise." He said, "I want a pay raise too, but I mean, unless money gonna fall from where you standing at, neither one of us get nothing." My man had my back way back when. But these are the things that we got to think about. So what we start talking about on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays, we start talking about different situations, business and politics. Like on Mondays, how politics negatively impacts your ability to make, save, and invest money. The Strait of Hormuz is closed off on two different sides because Iran shut everything down. Donald Trump blocked off the ports. Oil's not flowing anymore. We've got until like Wednesday, and then we're going to go back to war. You know what I mean? And that's impacting your investment opportunities. It's also impacting your gas prices because oil is still flowing. It is just not flowing from that direction, which means it costs more fuel to take it the long way around, which costs more money. And then that money is going to be offset to the customer, which is then going to be offset onto us. And then we got to pay higher prices for shit because it takes more money to get the fuel to where it needs to be to make the products that we want to buy. Indirect consequences for somebody else's actions. Then on Tuesdays, we talk about different ways to make, save, and invest money. Wednesdays, we talk about different countries around the world that we can live in and potentially invest in. And then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we give you guys information like personal development, self-improvement, negotiation topics, relationship topics, building your brand, and then doubling back to fair ways to discuss your raises, promotions, retirement, and your severance package. Because if you're leaving, even if you're quitting the job on a bad note, if you're doing it in a semi-professional fashion, you can talk your way out the door in a more effective fashion. If they're letting you go, not having you escorted out by the police, but they're like calling you, giving you advance notice, like, "Hey, you're done by the end of this month." It's like, all right, let's talk about like how much I get on my way out. You could do that, right? Negotiate longer insurance plans, using all of your paid time off and several of the paid time off, the sick days and the vacation days. Just use all of that now while you're still on the clock. Pull all your stocks out now while you're still there. All the stuff that you got to do before you wrap things up. Because when they do sudden change, and they're like, "You're fired," they hit you with that Vince McMahon, your ass is fired. Like, that's it. Like, you're just gone. Like, everything you could have got, you're lost out on. But when they come and they let you know in advance, "Hey, man, look, I got to talk to you. Like, we're going to have to set this up or you're going to have to leave." Right? All right, well, let's talk about how I'm going. You know what I mean? But if you're in a situation where you're getting second, third write-up, like the next write-up, you're probably going to be fired kind of shit. That's the moment where you should be like working your way out the door anyway. You should be like, "Look, I already know before you even start talking about writing me up, let's just talk about me taking like a few weeks off. And then after that, I'll just put in my 2 weeks." Right? and because you're still on payroll, because you got your 2 weeks paid vacation and this, that, and third, Now's the time to pull out all your stocks. You haven't been fired yet. You can leave on a good foot. That's what we talked to you guys about these things. He said, Funny Joe see tanks on trains going to the ports. Oh, funny to see tanks on the trains going to the ports. Oh yeah, they selling them motherfuckers down the line. They're gonna be look. This is one of the worst parts about a ceasefire because yes, a ceasefire does mean that we can talk about peace, but a ceasefire also means that I can send more reinforcements to the front lines before the next assault, so that I don't have to wait to ambush. That's what. Because when the ceasefire is over, the United States is going to make the first move. So it's not like, well, we got 30 seconds, y'all. All right, Iranians, let's go. That's not what's going to happen. What's going to happen is, well, it's almost time. And JD Vance is going to be like, launch the tanks. Like Mr. Burns, release the hounds. He's going to be like, launch the tanks. And then all of a sudden it's going to be all over again, right? You're going to see boots on the ground, missiles in the skies, Twitter all over the place. I don't know how TikTok is streaming live from Iran and not getting blown to smithereens. But these businesses in all the right places, like and I'm just sitting here like, sheesh. Back in the day, this was like National Geographic. Like we had to get this on the news, and it was like Fox or something like that. That's got, but now it's just some random Joe Schmo just so happened to pull his cell phone out with like B-2 bombers flying overhead. Like, look at this first person angle. So we got a lot to look forward to, but we're gonna be covering it, but we're not covering it from a political perspective because I could get you shits about politics. I care about how it impacts your money. It impact the way you save, the way you invest, the way you retire. Because I want to tell you guys, after we finish going through all the stuff, we talked to you guys about your 20-year plan, your 20 and 30-year plan. The goal is for you to put your money in the right place, set it up in the right way where your money is making money for you so that you do not need to, at any point in time, be concerned about how your bills are getting paid and how you're going to be taken care of when you're too old and feeble to take care of yourself. While you young, 20s and 30s, some of y'all in your 40s is able-bodied, able to get out there and make it do what it do. Now it's fine, but when you're 20, 30 years from now, when you can't do it anymore, you need to know where your money is coming from. And just like we was talking about yesterday with the Social Security disability, it's not going to be as available as it used to in the ways that it used to be available. So you're going to see some changes that are beneficial, but you're going to see some changes that are detrimental. And that's one of the reasons why we need to work on building the type of lifestyle that pays for itself so that you don't need anybody else. See what I'm saying? Now, since today is Sunday night, we got questions and comments from the fans. We're going to be listening to a few comments. And I'm going to tell you guys what I think about this because typically these comments come from, I don't really care where their opinions were. So I didn't like, this is going to be nasty. Nah, most of these I didn't even really curate. The first handful of people that told me some stuff, I'm like, all right, let's go ahead and take a look at this. And I'm going to provide my honest observation of the situation. But a lot of the times, your concern is from either a place of fear or a place of resentment. It's not self-deprecation a lot of the times. It is just spiting the other person. So, I do got a lot of similar advice, like, first off, go talk to your partner. But a lot of the times it's like, could you just pay attention to the other side of the scenario and really look at what's going on? But you'll see as we go through these, you'll see that some of these are legit, like they're problems. But there are also some that are just ridiculous from a selfish perspective. And we're going to go through each one of these. Y'all can feel free to comment. Let me know what y'all think. Keep the comments reasonably appropriate because we do have some young bucks that fly through here throughout the show. But you guys are free to comment. And as long as they're appropriate, I will see them. I should read some of them up here on the screen. And then we'll go ahead and keep it doing what it's doing. So let's go ahead and get started with the first one.
Moment of clarity that I'm not a good spouse. Or person, probably. My husband has been complaining for a couple years now about how he doesn't feel wanted and that I'm mean. But I was always like, the fuck? What could I possibly...
Hold on. Michael called me off guard. He said, remember it's 420. Yo, that's not supposed to be smoking. If you are not using 420 to invest hundreds of thousands of dollars into your brokerage account, this is not Woodstock. This is rebuild your life. If you not putting your money into your cut, because you know what they're gonna do. They're gonna smoke 420 in the morning until 4:20 p.m. Then they're gonna smoke some more 420 tomorrow morning, but they're gonna smoke for 12 hours straight because it's for they don't need to be doing that. Right? Special shout out, not yet. I could be in Davy Jones's locker. This dude looked like the Pirates of the Caribbean. This dude kind of selling on the ship. The shirt master chair. But no, even though it's 420 tomorrow, you're supposed to be recognizing which stocks you're supposed to be bidding on tomorrow, because tomorrow, like the 19th or the 20th, don't we have Arbor Realty and Arbor Residential that you're supposed to be investing in before the end of the week? Or no, those were last week. Matter of fact, you're supposed to be selling those stocks now if you're doing a dividend rotation strategy. You should be picking up, getting closer to the 23rd. You're supposed to be buying into Prospect Capital. You're supposed to be buying into Orchid Island. You're supposed to be buying into AGNC, Ellington Real Estate Investment Trust. You're supposed to be putting, not 420, let's go get high. 420, let's go buy some stocks at $2 and some change. Those are called penny stocks. For the price of a bag of weed, you can buy 15 shares of some good ass stock that's giving you 20% interest. So instead of talking about that loud, why don't you start talking about that bank? Because how many times can you flip an ounce versus how many times you can get paid back on dividends on a brokerage account without having to worry about getting locked up? All right? Ain't gonna let you out. Now, this woman want to know, we gonna get back into this woman. She gonna talk about some, because she feel like she the problem. And I agree with her. I don't know what she did, but odds are it is her fault, because the first thing she said before I paused this thing is that her husband has been complaining for years. Your husband should only have to tell you one time that he has a general concern of dissatisfaction. And after that, it is your responsibility to change that shit. So if he's been complaining about the same thing for more than 1 week, more than 1 month, you fucking up. So the fact that he put up with this bullshit for more than 1 year, you are epically failing. So let's see exactly how she epically failed.
Be doing so wrong? I work, I cook, I clean, I plan. I don't go out and party, nor am I an addict. I stay home and get stuff taken care of. Why is he always mad at me? How could he be so miserable even though I take care of him, the house, and kids? Admittedly, the bar for a good marriage and good parenting is literally on the floor for me, based on how I was raised. But it appears I thought stepping over the bar was enough. I'm a better spouse and parent than either of my parents, but going to work, keeping a clean house, and not being abusive or neglectful, aka bare minimum, doesn't necessarily make me a good mom, spouse, or person. Getting through my responsibilities with my home, job, and family just to reward myself with solitude / my own hobbies isn't as innocuous as I thought. I'm not present and I'm selfish, not being interested in spending time with my kids or husband unless it's an activity I want to do. Like my husband wants to connect with me over movies and play a video game with him. Meanwhile, I just want to read or play a single-player comfort game, and I get very annoyed when I'm interrupted or asked to do something else. I'm not affectionate / sexual. Unless prompted, I'm introverted. I'm not interested in learning about anyone else's hobbies. I keep to myself for the most part. I'm the kind of person who thinks sitting in the same room doing separate activities, aka parallel play, is spending time together and enough of a presence. It's not. And though I have dropped 100 pounds and gotten in good shape over the last 2 years, I don't care about my hair and makeup as much and don't really put effort into my appearance unless it's an event out of the house. Messy bun, leggings, you get the picture. I'm so overwhelmed by how much work I need to do to help save my marriage. It feels so daunting, especially because at this point it feels like I have to change pretty much every aspect about me and be a different person. And TBH if it's too late, because after I went out to a 6 a.m. cafe meeting with my business partner, and it's my husband's birthday weekend, So he was extremely upset at me for being gone from 6:30 to 9:30 this morning. He was mostly sleeping during this time. And he says he's done trying and it's up to me to fix it. I just don't know where to begin because it's such a long list of improvements I have to make. Yes, I am very much considering therapy for myself. And yes, marriage therapy would be great, but it is too expensive in this time in my life. And my insurance doesn't cover that.
Hold up. I
I
almost
want to.
pushed the wrong button. Hold on. She said marriage counseling is too expensive in her life right now, and she's saying that what do you know that a divorce costs way more than 10 years worth of marriage counseling? The child support, the alimony, especially if you found a way to make more money than your husband. These days, it is not gender favored where women are not going to get the cut just because they got the kids. If she make more money, and like she's saying right now, she closed off emotionally, this and all this, that, they might put the child with the father. And then if they put a child with the father and you make more money than the father, you're going to be paying alimony and child support to the father. Because these days in 2026, the law is not gender exclusive. So the problem that we've got right now is you pretended like you didn't know what the fuck the problem was, and then you laid out the whole problem. You have to pay attention to your partner's love language. If he wants quality time, you give him fucking quality time. And quality time is not you playing a solo game. That's not quality time. Quality time is not you doing a PvE event. He wants some teamwork. He wants you and him to like Call of Duty together. He wants you and him to Fight Club or Fight Night or some shit like that, or Need for Speed all over the place or something like that. Even some Fortnite, build a fort, defend a fort kind of shit, like teamwork stuff, building stuff together and everything. You know what I mean? You have your own hobbies, which is fine, but you're supposed to have shared hobbies with your partner. Even if it's cooking dinner together, even if it's cleaning the house together, even if it's go on a fishing trip or some shit. Go on a fishing trip where you don't catch any fish. You just go out there with the intent to catch fish, and you just sit on the boat and get a tan. But do stuff with your husband. Now, the other problem we got, your irritated behavior shows resentment towards your man engaging you. That's a rejection. You don't want to do that. Even if this is not the time, you should make the energy to put up with him coming to you, because this is the moment that he is seeking your attention. The same way a woman would expect the same thing from her man is that if she came over to get attention from him, that she expects him to put his game down, turn off the TV, turn off the Super Bowl, turn off the WrestleMania right before the guy wins the match, and give her undivided attention at the most inconvenient time. Women do this all the time. And the man is a bastard if he doesn't do it. So likewise, when your man come out of the woodwork from wherever the fuck he was at, and he came looking for attention from you, stop the fuck you doing and give him some damn attention. Put the book down, put your phone down, stop talking to your friend, hang up the phone on your mama, and give your man the undivided attention. That's how you start fixing shit. And that don't cost no money. Shared goals with him, shared activities, and prioritizing when he show up, that does not cost you a dime. Now, you got to go to therapy so that you can learn how not to be an asshole. That is going to cost you some money. You don't have to go to couples therapy. You can go to individual therapy, and that is covered under your insurance. And individual therapy fixes your fuck up in your life so that you can be a better person for your husband. Because while you said, yeah, damn right, he said Super Bowl not going to happen. Shit, we'll get a divorce before I stop watching the game. I don't give a fuck. But then here go the other problem. I forgot what I was talking about just now. When you are in this situation where you're willing to prioritize, so like you said, your husband's birthday. On your husband's birthday, before he wake up, you should have already set up the plan for what y'all gonna do for the day, right? Because for your birthday, you want your husband to wake you up with breakfast in bed and taking you somewhere nice and buying you expensive clothes to go somewhere nice and pay to get your hair did to go do something nice and all this stuff. A lot of the times, the most women do for a man is cook him something to eat and have sex with him. That's really all y'all do for a man for his birthday, Father's Day, Christmas. Y'all don't really put much effort. You take the groceries that he already bought, make him what he would have wished that you would made him every day of the week, and then put on an outfit that he paid a bunch of money to buy for you so that he could see you in that outfit 3 times a year. That's really what y'all do. But if you really wanted to show value for your man, the things that he likes, his passions, his goals, his hobbies. If he's a car guy, take him to a car meet. You know, if he's a boat guy, take him to a boat thing. If he's an antique guy, take him to some antique activity. And plan a day that shows him that you actually give a shit about the things that he care about, right? Because that's what you would have wanted him to do for you. Now, this is the part that I had dropped the ball. I was sitting over here trying to think about what was I about to talk about, but I just remembered it. Modern women prioritize looking their very best for strangers. And that is an epic fail. You don't got to put on 30 pounds of makeup because your man love you for being natural. But you don't have to look like trash around the house and then look like a stripper in the street. You want to look sexy for your man, because that's what women lie and say, oh, well, I just wanted to look sexy for my man. But you only dress like this when you're leaving the house without me. You're not doing it for me. You're doing it for you and the people that you're going to attract while I'm not with you. You should be leaving the house looking like trash and then in the house looking like a supermodel if you're doing it for me, because I should be the only one looking at my supermodel. You should not be a supermodel for everyone else and be Oscar the Grouch for me. I don't got time for that. So when you only show your worst side to your husband at home, and then you only put your best self out there for people who are not your husband, you show less value for your husband. You show less value for your marriage. You show less value for your relationship. So I'm not saying put on 30 pounds of makeup, but comb your fucking hair. I'm not saying that you got to put on a tight skimpy outfit and walk through the house in heels and shit, but you can at least be presentable where you look reasonably attractive for your husband. You ain't got to look like no hoe. You ain't got to have camel toe out in the front and booty cheeks out in the back, but you don't have to be sweatpants and a 3-stain shirt all the time with your hair half-assed in a bun with a bonnet on and just, I don't feel like it. I just got up. You was up 3 hours before him. Why are you going to get up 3 hours before him and look good for another man? Yeah, it's about money, but why can't you get up and look good for your man? Why are women willing to put their best self out there for their male boss, but they're not willing to put their best self out there for their husband? You're putting more pride in the exterior, but your husband is your backbone. Your husband is supposed to be your protector and your provider. Your husband's going to put his life on the line to protect you. Your husband is going to subsidize your income, if not replace your income, with all the extra money that you make is for your entertainment because he's got all your responsibilities. Why are you not prioritizing and appreciating that man by being your best self for him, being respectful to him, being obedient and submissive to him, because he gave you his entire life's estate that he built from the ground up? So why are you not working on making sure that he is the happiest man in your life instead of having your work husband, which is that should never happen. And then you've got your male best friend, and oh, he's important, it's his birthday, but your ass left and went to work on your husband's birthday, right? Y'all got to stop that. Prioritize your home, your family. Oh yeah, the house is clean. No, everybody's organized, so you don't got to worry about the chaos. The kids are taken care of. The kids don't fuck shit up, so you don't got to worry about too much stuff going on there. But if you left your husband undone emotionally, that's equivalent to being in a marriage where your husband's like a doctor or a lawyer or some shit like that. He's gone 6 days out of the week, and when he come back, he's in the bed asleep. You would say that he was never there emotionally, and that's why you slept with the tennis coach. So recognizing that, a man is not going to do that to you as quickly. I'm not saying that men don't do it, but they won't do it to you as quickly. Emotionally abandoning your husband because all of the dishes is washed and all the clothes are put away, that's just as bad as your husband emotionally abandoning you and putting in double overtime at work. So bring your ass home and prioritize your man. That's how you fix your marriage. And all of this stuff that I'm telling you would benefit you before you spent $1 on therapy. This will fix 80% of your marriage. The only thing that you need therapy for is to fix your fucked up attitude. But everything else that I'm telling you would fix your marriage for free. So you talk about the marriage therapist isn't covered on your insurance, but your badass behavior patterns is free. You fix that. And it's a long list. It is not a long list, man. It is just a change of behavior. And if you change that behavior, it wouldn't be no issue. He said, I was at the senior center and I commented on how nice she looks. And she said, I dress nice for my husband. She said, it makes him feel good. And I'm proud of him. And I thought, wow. Now, my question is, was her husband in that fucking senior center? Because if his ass wasn't there, she was fucking lying. Because if she dressed like that for her husband's supposed to see it. No female dresses for their husband if their husband is not there with them while they looking like that. Hold on, I missed a comment. Michael said, living next to a cemetery, I always bring flowers to my dates. oh, he was serving food? Thank God. So he had a good wife. Okay, that's good. That's good. Because a lot of times you got some female, I like to look good for my husband. I like to look good for my boyfriend. Well, where your boyfriend at? At work, at the house, with his cousin. He ain't here, he out of town. Well, why the fuck is you looking like that and he ain't nowhere around you? He don't get to see this outfit. Right? Then if the man find it in the closet, I was going to wear it for you, then wore it 38 times. He ain't never seen you in it. Because you didn't do that for him. You did it for you. You just covered it up ego-wise and said it was for him. It's just like if you had bought your family member a TV because your family member bought you a PlayStation and you put your PlayStation on their TV. And then after you so you playing the TV, you didn't buy the TV for them. You bought the shit for your PlayStation, but you're just going to call it a gift for them so that they don't feel bad that you ain't get them shit. Right? That's what's going on. So, he's a sad story again and again. Well, no, we have had some positive stories, but you know what? 90% of stories are going to be sad. And you know why they're going to be sad, Aaron? A lot of the stories are going to be sad because a lot of people are selfish, inconsiderate, and uncaring about what's going on with the other side. But the problem is that a lot of relationships start off good and resentment builds because one person is doing more than the next. Just like in this particular situation, the husband said, I'm tired of trying. It is your turn to put in the effort to fix this because a lot of relationships, 3 or 4 generations of women right now believe that it is the man's perspective. Damn right. It's the whiners that don't know how to fix shit. 3 or 4 generations of women right now, going all the way back to the 60s, that are sitting over here bitching about the fact that they are not happy because their man isn't putting in enough effort to make her happy. That's the complaint. Now let me ask you, how the fuck did it become his fault that you did not perform as a wife? The resentment. Yes, the woe is me. Nobody loves me. Nobody cares for me. But the truth of the matter is that when they when they come and they do the bitch fest, usually the women are complaining about their husband, knowing that their husband is psychologically and emotionally shutting down after years of trying, because women have been raised that if a man loves her, that he should carry the weight of the relationship. That is how women are taught. They're taught like this by their moms, their aunties, their grandmas. Then when they start getting older, their girlfriends, their homegirls, the old cougars that teach them, oh yeah, if he really cared about you, he would do more. But see, and that's a one-sided mentality. from a first person perspective, if I want you to be happy, then I am going to make sure that I do whatever I need to do to make sure that you are happy. But that's a one-way street. If you want me to be happy, then you are going to do everything in your power to make me happy. So if she is not happy because her man is not trying any more, because you married him, that means he did enough for you to say yes. And he stopped doing it after a while. What the fuck were you not doing before the marriage, during the marriage, that led up to him stop applying himself in the relationship? Resentment builds up to a burnout. Burnout leads to a shutdown. When the shutdown happens, that's when the other person realizes the other person number one ain't trying no more. Once the man shuts down, and it takes longer for a man to shut down than a woman. Once the man shuts down, it is because he is tired of trying. If the woman doesn't step up, the relationship is over. But women were not taught that they had to carry the other half of the relationship. So what we have is a coattail scenario. I'm going to find you. I'm going to beg you to date me. I'm going to pay for everything. I'm going to take you everywhere. Then you're going to move into my house. I'm going to pay all of your bills. You're going to stay in my house until I pay for the marriage. I'm going to pay for the engagement ring. I'm going to pay for the engagement party, the wedding reception. I'm going to pay for the baby shower. Then I'm going to pay for you and the kids for the rest of the child's childhood at the very least. And if we don't get divorced, I'm going to pay for you till I die. All you have to do is maybe cook something, clean something, and keep the kids from looking like garbage. And that's it. That's it. That's it. Everything else is on demand. That is the traditional behavior patterns of the modern last 4 generations of women. And that's not true. Women have to put effort into their man the same way their man has got to put effort into her. A man is like a walking stock option, not a walking ATM. The more you put into him, the more you get out of him. So if you dog him out and use him up, you will get shit back in return. And women don't understand that. If you only take, and then you crack the whip on him to go out there and go and make more money, it's almost like slavery in a relationship. Because he's not benefiting from you, but you're benefiting from him, and that's not good in a relationship. He said, women think all men are great in bed. You got to tell us what makes you happy. But see, okay, women are going to say that men are great in bed because women are getting satisfied in the bedroom. But the problem is that all men or most men that are not smashing OnlyFans girls and porn stars say the same thing, that women are like watching paint dry. The women lay there and take it, and the men got to do all the work. So while the women enjoy the activity because the man know what he doing, what did she do in that situation? He said, we're going to role play. I'm the head of household and I'll provide. Let's role play. Let's role play for a second. I'm gonna be the man in the house, and you're gonna respect me. Let's play this game for like 20 years. And then tomorrow I'll be like, you're bad at this game. You don't respect me. Let's go ahead and touch base with the next comment.
Break up with my girlfriend. I'm 17 and she is 16. I've been in a relationship, I guess you could call it, for about a month with this girl that I met in
All right, go ahead and break up with her.
January at this point. We hit it off and I thought I liked her at first. I was wrong. It turns out I only like the idea of being with someone right now instead of actually being with them and putting in the effort to be with them. I have put in the effort. I've bought her flowers every time we've seen each other. I've bought us food. I've been with them whenever they're sad so far, and overall just been there for them if they need something. But I don't feel anything there. She is obviously way more invested in this than I am. I don't think I feel attracted to her at all, and I feel bad for this because I feel like I've led her on. If I break up with her, she will be heartbroken and actually scared that it will worsen her mental health because she already has a slight ED and I don't want to add to that. I know I'm not responsible for other people's reactions and emotions, but I would feel absolutely horrible if I broke up with her. But it's genuinely all I want right now. Any advice is appreciated, please.
Yes, just like Michael said, he just wanted to get boned. So She's 16, you're 17. You can't really smash her too much more anyway, because when you're 18 and she's 17, you can go to prison for it. So you might as well break up with her anyway until she's 18. You you wanted to get laid. Once you got laid, or whatever it was she was willing to do with you, you were no longer interested in the situation anymore. And once you were no longer interested in the situation, now you want to move on. You're 17, she's 16. They start younger because that one 15-year-old in Florida that slept with 25 guys in the bathroom at her high school. 25 young men was smashing this 15-year-old in a Florida high school. I think it was a private school, if I remember correctly. It was all over the news. So they start at a young age. Like their body count is higher, is double their age before they're 20. Right? So it ain't gonna crush her spirit. It's not. You're saying leave him. No, he wants to leave her. And I'm telling him, go ahead and go. Go ahead and go, bro. It ain't gonna change nothing. You're embarrassed about this being your first girlfriend. 5 girlfriends in, this is gonna be a behavior pattern. What you need to figure out though is what you got with her for in the first place. If you're getting with the woman for all the right reasons, you're not going to want to leave. But if you're getting with the woman for the wrong reasons, you're going to, once you get whatever you went in there for, it's a relationship of convenience. As soon as it stops being convenient, you're going to leave. If you got with her because she was good enough, but the one that you wanted, the captain of the cheerleading team, you couldn't get, when the captain of the cheerleading team starts looking at you, the one that you did get that was willing to put up with you, that one is no longer going to be interesting anymore because you didn't get what you want. You settled for less. So what you have to do is, if you wanted the captain of the cheerleading team, you have to put yourself in a position to be valued by the captain of the cheerleading team, and then make her earn your attention. You don't beg for her, because if you beg for her, she gonna use you as a doormat. We didn't learn that when we was younger. We figured that out trial and error. When we was in elementary school, giving the cute girl our cookie during snack time, we was not being told, oh, that's so cute, but we were learning how to be simps as toddlers, right? Very few boss babies got, all the girls in the classroom bringing him his cookie. You know what I mean? A little tub of lard because he eating 20 cookies in the classroom and nobody else got no cookie. It's at 16, average relationship times 6 months. It's not that, to be real. At 15, 16 years old, they typically start dating at the beginning of the month, and they typically have somebody else by the end of the semester. So within 1 month to 3 months, they broke up. Next semester, they're dating somebody else. You seen Veronica Mars? She was bouncing back and forth between 3 guys between 17 and 19. She wasn't even grown yet, and she had 3 grown men that she was dating over the course of 2 years. Yeah, that's what they call it, puppy love. Puppy love. Teaching my children at 7, 8, and 9 years old investments, values, and opportunity costs. The money you're spending on that versus the opportunity that you can have in the future. You might look at her and be like, nah, you're not worth my time. I would prefer to miss out on careless mistakes so that I could benefit from better life choices in the future. Because, I mean, when you're a multimillionaire, you can ball off the wall, But when you broke down and out throughout your whole life, the struggle does not offset or supersede the benefit of the struggle. Because the benefit of the struggle, the only benefits you get in the struggle is moments of, I don't even want to call them prosperity. It's wasteful spending, splurging. But if you put yourself in a position where from bottom to top, you out there, making yourself highly successful, you're getting extra money coming in on a regular basis, and you're living off of less than half of the money that you're coming in. Now you can ball out of control. Because if you have $100,000 a year income and you have a $20,000 a year lifestyle, you can spend $50,000 a year and put $30,000 into a brokerage account, and spending $50,000 a year worth of interest out of $100,000 worth of interest. You never touch the principal, so the money is always coming in. Now, when you're spending $50,000 a year on entertainment, who in America can afford a $50,000 a year lifestyle out of entertainment? Just entertainment. That's not basic bills. The basic bills was covered by the other 20%. That's why I tell you, opportunity cost. Because if you could do that every year, not once, a lot of people, oh shit, I went on this one cruise that cost me $5,000. What kind of trip can you imagine would cost you $50,000? Because it's $24,000 to live in another country, $40,000 to live in another country if you're living the high life. Limos, servants. Come on now. He said the worst struggle in life is never to start. That is true. And that's one of the reasons why I tell everybody, now you might as well go ahead and get started getting yours in, because if you get yours in, then you don't have to deal with the bullshit of not being able to get there, not being able to cover stuff, right? All right, let's go ahead and check on the next one, because I know one of you bitches is long.
My child will have virtually no family because my husband lied and I don't know what to do. My husband has a big family and I don't. I was looking forward to having people around us and the child we are about to have. It turns out he has lied about why his family isn't involved in our lives, and now no one is showing up to our wedding, baptism, birthdays, and so on. He said he's tried to keep regular contact with his family, but they just don't answer. I found out he's the one who has actively ignored them. He said he has nothing against them, he simply just doesn't care. I don't want to end up a single parent over this, but I also can't fix this for him/us. What do I do? I am genuinely distraught. The situation. Yeah, this is long, but it's the only way to explain how absolutely fucked I am now and how it got to this point. I started dating my husband 3 years ago. He told me he has 6 siblings, all adults, multiple nephews and nieces, and his parents are divorced.
Me over movies and play a video game with him. Meanwhile,
besides my parents. At this point, we had discussed what got to this point. I started dating my husband 3 years ago.
So
he told me he has 6 siblings, all adults, multiple nephews and nieces, and his parents are divorced. They all...
All right, hold up. Now, first, Michael said first class round trip to Africa plus a safari, able to be $100,000 a person. Right. But you know, you'd be able to knock that out if you making that kind of money. You'd be able to knock that out on a yearly basis. You're only going to want to do that African safari trip one time because it's fucking hot in Africa. But what I wanted to talk about real quick, because she says she's married, but she said that she'd been dating him for 3 years before the fucking marriage. Why are you, because she's got a lot of shit to say, why are you with him for 3 years and you have not spent time with his family, and it is his fault that your child does not allegedly know his side of the family? Why didn't you take your crusty ass over there to his family and go spend time with his family without him? It is on you, if you want his family at your wedding, to go and bridge the gap between him and his family, even if he don't want to bridge that gap. If you are going to be the middle person between him and them so that you can benefit from his side of the family being involved in your child's life, why don't you take your raggedy ass over there and deal with his fucked up family? Because there's some shit between him and them that has him not wanting to fuck with them. And that's the reason why I ain't got no beef. I just don't want no chaos in my life, so I don't talk to my family. And I would respect that if he told me that. You feel me? But she's trying to paint the picture like he put up a facade. Ain't no facade here. Starry Cloud. I see you, Starry Cloud. Well, I don't see you, Starry Cloud. I have to see you before I put you on, because I got to make sure that you over the age of 18 before you can be seen on the show. Because I know, you got a lot of people that like to dive in and be cute trolls on the channel. So, but I'm paying attention to you. He left. He's having issues with his family. Yeah, we about to get in on them issues. We're gonna see what she got to say about the issues. Some families are best left out of the picture. You damn right. You damn right. There are a lot of times where there is unresolved issues from before. It doesn't have to be unresolved issue from your childhood. It could have been the last relationship. It could have been in your adulthood. It could have been before you got with this person. You found peace with your wife and your child. You don't want your family involved. They're not involved. It is what it is. Now, he's not telling her that her family can't be involved in his child's life, but he personally does not want to manifest a relationship with his brothers and sisters and aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, and mom and them. And with all due respect, sweetheart, that's his right. He shouldn't have to. If you, being married to him, want to be involved with your in-laws, he doesn't have to be involved with that. You can take your ass over there and go and talk to them. Then when you find out that they're full of shit, do not ask him to fix that. Because he told you for a reason there's a gap there. Just leave the gap there. But let's see what
live
else
in
you got
our
to say.
area too. Initially, I didn't even notice that I hadn't met anyone but the mom. Then first Christmas came and I kept asking if he is going to see his family. We had dated about 6 months. He said he didn't know yet, but probably. I went to my parents for the holidays, and when I got back he said he had had dinner with his family. A year later, we got engaged. I said now that we are engaged, I definitely want to meet the family. I have no siblings, and I only have an aunt and few cousins besides my parents. At this point we had discussed starting a family, and I was keen to meet nieces and nephews whose aunt I would be. He said he has contacted his family, but some aren't responding despite his efforts, and some are just very busy. It was starting to bother me, but in the end, it's his family and I don't have the experience to say what's normal for adult siblings. I was also wondering why none of them had tried adding me on social media after finding out about our engagement, or sent a card or anything, besides the mom. My husband doesn't post anything on his social media, so I assumed he had called or messaged them to let them know. I started to snoop on their social media to find out more about the family members.
Okay, you see what the problem at? Now, she keep pressuring him to get his family involved in his relationship, and he has not made it clear that he doesn't want to do that. So instead of them going to his family's house for the holidays, she went to her family without him, and then he lied and said that he went to his family when he never went out there. Now, yeah, he did lie, but she's making it seem like he is the reason why her child is not going to have the size family that she wants him to have. Now, that you got to understand, the man is not posting his family on his profile that apparently his family has access to, because they're all following each other. They all live in the area, which means that they could have come to his house, but they don't. And if they call, he doesn't tell her about it. Clearly, there's an issue there. He doesn't want to talk about it, but she's pressuring him to do something about it. Now, if the shoe was on the other foot, a woman wouldn't tolerate that type of behavior. You don't tell me what to do. If I wanted my family to be here, they'd be here. I don't want them to be here, they ain't gonna be here. Get off it, is how a woman would act. But what a man would do is, because he doesn't want to upset you, he's not gonna tell you shit. He's just not gonna have them over. He should have kept it real. Yeah, I agree. He should have kept it real and said, I ain't going over there. I don't know the fuck why you even having that. That's not hard at all to do. You're right. That's not hard. But a lot of men in modern society are taught by the women, because a lot of men don't get raised by men. 82% of men don't get to raise their children. So a lot of men are raised by their mothers and their aunts and their grandmas. And women teach men to be submissive to women, so that the man can be submissive to the female authority figure in the household. Then they got to be submissive to their older sister. Then they start being submissive to their girlfriends. And that continues until they're adults. And now they don't know how to do anything other than be submissive to women. And they now don't have the courage to stand up for themselves with the woman, because a lot of the times when a man talks about his wants and dislikes with women, women will shame him when they disagree with him, instead of acknowledging and accepting his views and perspectives, and then respecting that by reinforcing what he wants and doesn't want, even when he's not there. Because when men talk, women shame a man or devalue a man or shut a man down, talk over a man, answer for the man, talk back to the man stops communicating. Because instead of having a conflict with my girlfriend or instead of having a conflict with my wife, if I say nothing and just let her assume, she will drive to her own conclusions on her own, and it will just be about her. It's not going to be about me because I'm not involved in this at all. Because she never asked him what he wanted. Notice we haven't gotten halfway through what she got to say, but she never asked him what he wanted. She told him what she wanted, and she pressured him for what she wanted, not giving a fuck about what he wanted. And because he's not able to articulate that without conflict, he ain't saying nothing. He's just letting it ride without results. Even though I don't agree with that from any man, any woman that knows that a man is supposed to produce and production doesn't occur, the first question you have to ask is, did he even want that to succeed in the first place? Because if he wanted it to succeed, it would have been done. A man will cross country during an apocalypse for a woman. So if he ain't going down the street for your ass, you got to ask yourself, did he really want to go in the first place? Okay. And let's see what else you got to say about him.
They all seem to be educated, successful, extremely involved with their kids, and very loving parents. There were multiple posts and videos about family gatherings and events. I got a sore stomach wondering why we were not invited. I asked the mom about what the siblings and dad were like, and she was stunned that I hadn't met them. I told her I hadn't been contacted or invited to anything. She seemed very concerned and asked my husband what's going on. He said he has no clue. He's tried to contact everyone regularly without a result. His mom said it sounds very unlike them. At this point my husband was basically saying he was tired of contacting them since they don't respond. Foolishly, I moved in with him and we had a quick civil ceremony to get married because we were about to buy a house together. I also got a positive pregnancy test, which was a lot to take in as I had been on pills.
Okay, so what happened was you found out that you was pregnant and y'all ran down there to the justice of the peace and hurried up and got married and moved in together because you didn't want to have, bastard child. So you married this man impulsively instead of saying, no, let's just be in a relationship with a bastard child and figure this shit out and kind of get our history together before we really start moving in together and start being husband and wife. That was a bad decision. I don't give a damn what you got going on. I don't care about anybody's beliefs. You do not put yourself in a 20-year commitment, because childcare is a 20-year commitment. Put yourself in a 20-year commitment talking about I'm going to marry this person. Now combining our financial assets just because your ass got pregnant. Because y'all can stay single. You can still have the child. We can figure this shit out. I can still sign a birth certificate. I can still give my child my last name. We don't have to be married. When we do decide to get married, whenever that may be, because if we get married when the child is 4, 5 years old, they're not gonna remember that shit, and they're not gonna really care neither, because mommy and daddy been together the whole time I was alive, right? So you could have fixed your marriage before y'all got married instead of rushing to marriage because you got pregnant. That was a mistake that you should not have made.
I told him that I won't move in the new house with him without meeting his family. That we will start knocking on doors at this point. We had agreed to have a wedding party to...
But you see what's happening? Now she's pressuring him. Oh, so he done bought the house. He can't afford to pay for 2 places and a baby. Now she's going to stomp her feet, cross her arms, and refuse to perform until she get her way. That's an adult-ass temper tantrum. And I'm going to tell you right now, men, 2026, we ain't dealing with no temper tantrum. She says she ain't going. Okay, I'm going, and I'm taking everything in this motherfucking house and putting it in that motherfucking house. Now, whatever you decide to do is up to you. But everything that you value will be in the house that I'm paying for. Now, wherever the fuck you decide to stay is up to you. I'm not putting up with this bullshit. If she cared about what he was doing, She should have asked him, do you really want to have a relationship with your family? Do you really want to communicate with them? Let's call them together. Let's videotape, let's video FaceTime or Zoom call them or Google Meets them or something like that. If he really wants to communicate with them. Don't say yes because I'm asking you. Say yes because that's what you want. But if that's not what you want, say no, regardless of how I feel about it, because I want to know where you stand on this. Not just telling him you better do this to make me happy, because now you're forcing a man to put himself in a position of misery to satisfy you. And that is not okay. And you're regretting marrying him, but I bet he regret marrying you. But he's like, well, shotgun wedding, she's pregnant, might as well get married.
Celebrate our marriage after moving in the new house, and I didn't want that to be the first time meeting them. He got very agitated and organized a dinner reservation at a local restaurant few weeks later, which shockingly to me, most of the family was able to attend. Guess what? They were all great. So warm, so welcoming, so happy to meet me. A few of the kids commented on how they had forgotten what my husband looked like, and I thought it was a weird joke. Then as we were all leaving, one of the sisters said she would have loved for us to come to the party they had few weeks prior, but since her brother never answers their messages or calls, she didn't even know he has a new girlfriend. She hugged me and said I must come to their son's birthday next month. That of course my brother's girlfriend was welcome. He didn't even correct her about me being his wife. They didn't even know about me. They had no clue he was seeing someone, or got engaged, or got married, or bought a house, or that we were having a baby. I held it in until we got home and then had a major meltdown. I demanded an explanation. I demanded to see his phone and laptop for all the calls and messages he had sent them that he hadn't received a response.
Do you see the problem here? At no point in time did she give a fuck about how he felt about this. There's a reason why he didn't want them to know, and she has not yet gotten one inkling of why is it that you don't want them involved in our life. This is crazy.
And it was the other way around. Years and years of messages to him from everyone, asking how he's doing, how's his new place, that he moved out from before I even met him, if he is coming to family dinners, birthdays, baptisms, you name it. I found out they had got him his first place, first job, pitched in for furniture. They had brought him medicine and groceries when he was sick. They had expressed worry that he hadn't introduced his girlfriend to them, one he dated for multiple years before me. Messages asking what's wrong. Then the last year, the messages had stopped besides one message from a sister. The one who had hugged me at the restaurant. The message said the family had no idea why he excluded them and ignored them, but that they would no longer put in effort or invite him. She said they will now respect his wishes to live his life family-free. She also reminded him about the multiple times we warned you this may become an issue if you ever have a family of your own. She pleaded that even if he didn't care about them, at least make an effort with the children. So all along he was the problem. I asked what they had done to him and why he hates them so fucking much he hasn't even cared to be an uncle. He said he had nothing against them, he just had lived his own life. How absolutely selfish. I knew this will be an issue, and it was. I forced him to call every single of them and tell them he was in fact married and we were having a baby and a wedding party. I stood next to him and watched him dial a number by number. None of them were shocked. They all reiterated that they had had multiple talks with him about this being the trajectory he had taken, and they would not attend the wedding party or anything else. He had a hissy fit and complained that they were just trying to have a fight. No accountability, nothing. Now I'm about to have a baby and no one even cares, besides the mom. She is extremely upset her son lied to her for years, claiming the other siblings made no effort.
Do you see how she made this about her? Whatever beef between him and them, because what you understand is that early on in his adulthood, they had to set him up, get him his own place. Then he got sick. They put him into the what? All right, you can go sit down somewhere, buddy. The the situation where they set him up with his own place, then he had this one relationship and things started going south with that relationship and he stopped communicating with them. They guilt tripped him back then about how them not getting involved in his life was going to be an issue with his marriage, which is just wrong because you're not supposed to be guilt tripping your family members. You're supposed to be loving and respecting them. He ended up dating a woman that would be exactly like the other women in his family that apparently he didn't like, and she's guilt tripping him into doing something with his family. There's an unresolved issue between the adults, and that issue is not being spoken about, but everyone else is okay with sweeping it under the rug. He has an issue. But because he's not telling his wife what the issue is, and she doesn't care what the issue is, all she cares about is that she wants a bigger family. And that is not okay. Because if she cared about what he wanted, then she would respect whatever dynamic that he's got. If she wants to be involved with his family, then she should just go and be involved with his family without it. But now she's pressuring him to include his family. Now, this is going to make him uncomfortable in the house and uncomfortable with his family and uncomfortable in his marriage because this is all about her. This isn't about him. Oh, she's having a baby. She's doing this. She's doing it. What about your husband?
I can't even blame them, but now I'm fucking stuck with him in a new house and kid, and I can't trust him. I sent some of the siblings.
Hold on. You ain't stuck with him. You ain't stuck with him. Whether you married him or not, you could take your ass on somewhere else and leave him with his house and all of his stuff. And if you wanted to, you could leave him with his child. His issue is lack of communication with his wife. It's going to be that, yes. And she should have known where he stood with them years ago. But that's what I'm talking about. First person accountability. I'm not saying that this man is innocent for the way he's been acting. Her complaint is that she does not have the knowledge of where he stands with his family. First person accountability is she didn't try to find out before she married his ass. She was supposed to get to the bottom of this family situation if she was a family-oriented person. So let's say, Stephen, you're a family man. You got your dad. You decide you want to marry a woman, right? Before you get to marrying this woman, you're going to tell her what kind of relationship you have with your dad, what your living situation is involving your dad, if he's taking care of you or if you're taking care of him, if he has medical bills where you got to take him to the doctor and prioritize his health, or if you've got financial expenses that he has to subsidize. Whatever dynamic you have with your family, you're going to tell that to your romantic partner. She irresponsibly got pregnant, and I'm going to say she irresponsibly got pregnant from her perspective. From his perspective, he irresponsibly got her pregnant. So it's not like he's not part of the problem with the pregnancy situation. But she chose to get married to him because she was pregnant. She should have recognized that she wanted a bigger family, made that clear to him, found out what his dynamics were the first year of them dating before the pregnancy, because they were dating for 3 years, then got pregnant, then got married. She should have tried to get a better understanding of that first before they got into a long-term, deep, committed relationship. Really, before the intimacy, she should have what's your family dynamic? That's one of those first 10 dates kind of discussion. Really and truly, that's one of those first 10 dates kind of discussion. If I want children and she doesn't, I need to know that. If I'm close with my family and she's not close with her family, I need to know that. If she's closer to her family than I am with my family, she needs to know that. I might have family reunions that I don't want to go to. She might want to go to those family reunions. I might not want to take her, but I might take her. We need to discuss that. We should discuss what kind of relationship dynamic we have early on in the first 6 months of the relationship. You should understand that. Even on a minute scale, if we don't talk, why? What happened back in the past when y'all used to talk that caused y'all to stop talking? Who said what? Who did what? Because if they guilt tripped you and made you feel like shit when you was an adult, made it seem like you was irresponsible, and now you want to live your grown man life on your own, that's fine. What if they're the kind of family members that micromanages everything you do in your life and you want to be independent of that? That's fine. But they should have figured that out within the first 6 months of their relationship. So that's a failure on her part to understand what his relationship dynamic with his husband was. How you doing? Good to see you. Appreciate you just joining the stream. Let's see what else she's got to say.
Messages on social media, and they wish me all the best and said they hope I know this is nothing about them not approving of me, but they can't be happy about something they were excluded from, and the fact that he had lied about them being the ones ignoring him was inexcusable. I am so distraught and don't know what I can do. He has never treated me wrong or bad besides this, and this is major. What the hell do I do? I've been crying every night for months about everything I've missed and can't get back, and the fact that my child will not know anyone. There's comments asking if he has any mental issues. He does have ADHD and he was tested for autism. It's done simultaneously. He doesn't have autism. No depression, anxiety, etc. Honestly, half my friends have ADHD. It doesn't make you a liar. As you can guess, we haven't been doing great since all of this unfolded. I don't get a lot of sleep and I avoid him sometimes. I've kept asking if there's something that happened or they did that caused him to go no contact. I sat him down tonight when he got back from gym and said it's his final chance to come clean about what's going on. He said his childhood was great, parents' divorce was expected and done amicably. The divorce was the mom's fault, not getting into that here, but it's definitely her fault. He has no trauma, no hate besides them now giving him a hard time and not coming to the wedding next month. He has never had an interest in his family and he knew it was important to me to get along with everyone, so instead he said they have been tough to contact. He knew they'd tell me it's the reverse, so he wanted to avoid it altogether until I threatened to leave. So that's that. My dad is picking me up tomorrow morning. I feel so dumb. My mom always says, check how your partner treats other people and not just you, because it's easy to be nice to your partner, but how they conduct themselves with others is telling of their character. Guess I made a very bad choice.
You were dumb as fuck because what you just did was you fucked up what could have been a good marriage because you was petty and spiteful. Fact is that yes, the man did not tell you the truth, but just like he admitted to you that he didn't want to have anything to do with them and you wanted to have everything to do with him, and he didn't want to bridge that gap because he knew that that was going to cause conflict. The divorce between his parents played a role in the separation between him and his parents. He ain't talking about it, but if you talk about, well, he got the ADHD testing and the autism, if they're treating him like he's incompetent and he wants to be independent, and then the marriage with the family didn't work well, the divorce with the family didn't work well, and he doesn't want to deal with that, whatever discussion that they had, it could have been one argument. He could have had a fantastic childhood, short one argument. And that one argument made him say, I ain't fucking with y'all no more. Now, if you were going to be a good wife, since allegedly, according to you, his family ain't got no beef with you, and you are the one that want to have a relationship with them. Since you now have direct contact with his family, instead of being a petty bitch, take your ass to the damn holidays. Bring your son. See, this is why I got to get mad at her, because she's going to say that it's the dad's fault, it's the husband's fault, that she, who has the ability to do all of this detective work, to go and get direct contact with his side of the family, that it's his responsibility for her to get access to his family. Bitch, you got access. You pulled everybody's number off the social media. You forced the man to call everybody and have a dinner he didn't want to have with them. You done met everybody. You should have been able to exchange phone numbers with everybody. They didn't have to come to the wedding because you was getting married because you was pregnant, not because you cared about him. Then you wanted these people to be in your life. He didn't want these people to be in his life. You should take your ass to the picnic, to the family reunions, to the family functions, to the boy's birthday party upcoming soon. You bring your son to go and meet the nieces and nephews and uncles. That way, your kid still has the relationship with his family that you want your child to have, regardless of what the fuck he do. Because if you break up with him, if you divorce him now, it's going to be your fault that your child does not have the family that he could have had, since you have a direct contact with the sister Who has direct contact with the other siblings? Who has direct contact with the grandmas, aunts, and uncles and grandfathers? If I was dating a woman and I wanted to have her family involved in my life, I'm going to reach out to her fucking family. Now, if I cared about my partner, it would be up to her. And if she don't want to talk to them, then we just not going to talk to them. But if I don't care about what she wants in this situation and what I want supersedes what she wants, the way this dynamic is right here, this would be a situation where I would say, well, fuck what you said. Give me your mama number. I'm going to call your mama, get your brothers and sisters over, and you can go to the gym. I'm going to go hang out with them. And then when they're gone, I'm going to let you know, and then you can come back while they're not here. I'll lie and tell them that you at work. But if I want to have a relationship with your family, irregardless of how you feel about that, then I'm going to have a fucking relationship with your family. But you don't got to be there for that because it's what I want, right? Not what you want. Now, that's how this woman needs to frame this. This woman needs to frame this like, look, it is not his responsibility to cater to your relationship with his family. It's his responsibility to respect your family, but it's not his responsibility to be the middleman where it is. As long as his family not disrespecting you, you do whatever the fuck you want to do. Why are you putting this on him? And then you're going to ruin a marriage that could have been good because he didn't do what you said, do the way you said do it. That's the petty part. Now, I completely agree with you, Stephen. I personally believe that the man should have stood up, stood his ground, told her what he wanted, told her what he didn't want, and let her know from the gate, I don't want to fuck with them. I ain't got no excuse for it. I just don't want to fuck with them. If you want to fuck with them, here's the list of contacts where you can fuck with them. But I don't want to fuck with them. I don't have a justification for it. I don't want to be in the same room with them. I don't even have a reason to give you for that. That's the way I've been for this many years. If you want to have a relationship with them, you do it. Matter of fact, so that it is not awkward and uncomfortable, you can meet them and I will be gone. Y'all can do this at the house. And when y'all are done, I will come back a few hours after they leave. I don't want to have nothing to do with them. At the end of the day, he could have done it differently. So he did fuck up a little bit in this situation, but this isn't all his fault because he lied. It's because she's disappointed that she didn't get what she wanted the way she wanted it. And as a result, she's having a temper tantrum and she's leaving. And I don't think that that's right because in a marriage, things don't go the way you want it to go. Relationships are not going to be what you expect them to be. I might think that the woman that I choose will be the best woman for me, and I might find that the woman that I got is my worst nightmare. Sometimes we can work it out, but sometimes we can't. But there's no reason why you're going to leave because it didn't go the way you thought it would with interactions with other people. You didn't have a fight with the family. He said, I will tell a woman, quit. Me and my dad are cool, but the rest of the family, minus a few cousins, I don't mess with. Look, let me tell you something right now. I talked to one of about 500 family members in the past year. And I don't talk to that person but 2 or 3 times a year. I ain't got no beef with my family. We technically close, but we're technically distant because if they ever figured out what my phone number was and gave me a call, I'd likely answer the phone and have a good hour conversation with them. And if I had time off from work and they invited me to an activity, I'd likely go out there. But I don't put forth effort into sharing my number with folks. I don't put forth effort into reaching out to folks. So can I be close with my family? Of course. But I also understand that I don't like hood mentality. And I also understand that a lot of my family members come out of an environment that I no longer want to be a part of. So I also understand that the low-grade behavior is going to piss me off. So I also understand that before I become a spoil sport to this situation, that I'm probably not going to attend it. My sister went to a family reunion, and they had a falling out. At the first family reunion they had in almost a decade, they had a falling out at the family reunion. 5 people. My sister don't like 3 of them, and the other 2 jumped in. And I'm sitting over here like, nah, if I would have been there, I would have had to fuck somebody up. And this is why I didn't go. There's probably one person out the whole family over there that I would have wanted to see. But that person would have caused me to have to be with a whole bunch of other people that I didn't want to fucking see. Now, if I was in a relationship with a female that was very family oriented and this, that, and that, what I'm gonna introduce her to the family members that I'm cool with, the ones that I don't got a problem with, that they call me on a regular basis, I call them on a regular basis. We interact with one another. Like me and my pops is tight right now, so me and my father so close that I'll be like, hey, this is my dad, right? But the other people in my motherfucker, if they show up, you know, they show up. But I'm off the grid. So if they find me, they might show up. But will I tell them where I am for them to come look for me? Hell no. But at the same time, I will tell a woman quick that I have no problem with including her family into our life. So it'll be me, my woman, my pops, and whoever the fuck she brings from her side of the family. Now, what about the rest of my family? If they find out, they find out. I'm not gonna tell them not to, but will I put forth the effort? So if I got all kind of stuff going on, and then my daddy find out about it, and he calls somebody and tells somebody, and somebody calls somebody and tells somebody, and somebody else called me, oh, why you didn't? I didn't have to call. He called. Why you didn't include me? You know, because I didn't want you to know. That's why. If I got something major going on and you didn't hear it from me, that's because I thought it was none of your fucking business. If I'm having a baby, if I'm getting married, if I got a new promotion, if I won the lottery, if I won a big ass lawsuit, if something good happened to me and I didn't tell you directly, you wasn't the first person to find out. You heard it through the grapevine. That's because, bitch, I ain't want you to know. That's why. Now, we should be adult enough to respect each other to understand where the line in the sand is. Because I don't ever call you for no handout. I don't ever call you when I'm broke down and out and need some money. I don't ever call you for help. So if I'm not going to talk to you when I'm failing, why the fuck am I going to call you when I'm fucking succeeding? If you're not checking on my livelihood on a regular basis just because I got a pulse, then why the fuck are you showing up just because you found out that I got extra stuff? That's my dynamic. So in this position, now she being petty. If like you said, you and your dad is cool. You got a few cousins that you tight with. Short, some people that you don't want to fuck with. If your girl wanted to know your family, you would introduce her probably to your pops. And if your pops is gonna take her somewhere and go meet the rest of the people in your family that you don't want to fuck with, then she gonna go off with your daddy. Your daddy make sure she's safe when she come back, and the two of them will go over there and go and the damn family reunion and shit. Just my daughter-in-law. That's how it'll be. That's how it'll be. And which also means in this dynamic, she made good friends with the sister, the last family member to call the man before everybody started talking to him, right? The sister that hugged him and said, oh, come over to the thing in the next month. That sister would have been the catalyst for the woman to get everything she fucking wanted. That's why I'm disappointed in her, because even though the husband didn't want to bridge the gap, the sister had the lifeline. And you hugged the sister, you could have got the sister phone number. You could have brought your ass over there with your child and started to build the relationship with his family without him. Let his beef with them be his business, and you maintain the family structure that you wanted. That's your business. You don't have to invite him, so you're not forcing him to make your lifestyle uncomfortable. You got his whole extended family that you wanted to have, your family that you wanted to have. Your child got the cousins and nieces and nephews and all the stuff that you wanted, and he doesn't have to be involved in that because he's not stopping you from being involved in his family. He doesn't want to be involved in his family. That's why I'm disappointed in this woman. That's not his fault. Him lying, yeah, that's bullshit. He shouldn't have done it. He should have been more of a man about it and stood his ground on his position. But her walking away from a marriage that could have been good with a family that would have supported the marriage simply because she didn't get her way through her husband, she should have got her way around her fucking husband because she didn't give a shit about what he thought or how he felt in the first place. It says she didn't give a shit about what he thought or how he felt in the first place. She should have just said, well, fuck what you want. I'm going to go hang out with your sister. Meet your auntie, meet your mama and them, meet your brother and them. What she said, she met his mama. So through his mama, she should have went all places with his mama. So how come she met mama and she ain't got mama phone number? If I meet one of my girls' mamas, I got mama's phone number. Because I mean, if I got a problem with your daughter, you're gonna be the first person I talk to. Why the fuck you raise her like this? Because she acting like you. Come fix this. Look now, I'm trying to tell y'all. Let's go ahead and dive into the next one now.
I got fired. Need reassurance. So I got fired today. It's been less than an hour since it happened. And well, I'm not really feeling anything right now. Well, I am feeling things. I just don't let it take root, like I feel sad and maybe want to cry, but should I? It doesn't seem worth it. I'm also scared 'cause how the fuck am I going to tell my mom? It hasn't even been a month since I started working there. So I am feeling like a huge failure. It's also my first job, and to be honest, I wasn't even qualified. I did do the job well enough that there weren't any issues or mistakes, but I only got the job through recommendation from my uncle who is friends with the Mangers, so maybe I had it coming. Side note, is there a difference between laid off and fired? Because I was told I was getting laid off because the girls I was working with are moving on from that job, and they were going to hire new staff. But my biggest problem is going to be telling my mom, since I live with her and everything. I know I shouldn't be putting it off, but I really don't want to have that conversation. The worst part is when my relatives find out. They are going to gossip about this for weeks, unless I somehow manage to find a job within the next 24 hours. I'm getting mad just thinking about it, like, mind your own business and get a life. I just wanted to get it out of my system. So thanks for listening.
Okay, look, this is going to be social stigma for men because men are supposed to be protectors and providers. So your first job, your eighth job, you know, we have emotional separation anxiety when we lose a job, no matter how long we've been on the job. And if we were doing the best that we could on that job, it's going to hurt our feelings when we get fired. Like, no man can tell the truth and say that when I got abruptly fired off of my job, laid off or whatever, that my feelings wasn't hurt, right? Sometimes not enough to cry, but enough to be wanting to, right? Go grab a few beers at the bar, like, fuck, got fired again, right? And then you don't want to go home and tell your girlfriend because she's gonna make you feel like garbage. You don't want to tell your wife because she's gonna make you feel like garbage. You got some homeboys that you can talk to, and they're not gonna make you feel like garbage. But if you go tell your mom about it, your auntie about it, they're gonna make you feel like garbage. You ain't even had a job that long. Like, you already know this, right? You know that they're not gonna come with the understanding. They're gonna come with the criticism. It's something that you got to deal with. But what's worse than just coming straight back to the house and telling everybody the truth is hiding it. Because if you have family members that are not assholes, that are understanding, that will help you get another job. Because from what we hear, you got in on a reference and they are overhauling the whole staff. They're getting rid of everybody, including you. You're just like a casualty of the situation. And they're hiring a whole new group of individuals. As a result, since you were not fired for a bad reason, you can get a good referral and recommendation from your current employer. They can recommend you to go to another firm or another company, and then your dad can put in a good word, your uncle or whatever can put in a good word, mom or your auntie or somebody can put in a good word. Because you were a good employee, the company just changed the direction of its employees, right? So in this position, you young, it's your first job. There's going to be more first jobs, or not more first jobs, but there's going to be more firing off of more jobs, because laid off and termination are the same thing. It's just going to be worded differently for different situations. They're going to say you're fired or terminated when they're firing you out of anger. They're going to say laid off or furloughed when they're firing you and it's not your fault. But they're still firing. They're terminating your employment. That is firing. Laid off, however you want to word it. They're terminating your employment. But because it is not your fault, it's not for the lack of production, it's not for the lack of performance, it's not for sexual harassment or anything to that effect. It is just because everybody's fired. That's not something for you to be embarrassed about. You just go home and be like, man, they laid off the whole shift. Everybody got fired, including me. Now, by setting that up, damn. The first thing they're going to ask is, well, what everybody got fired for? I don't know. Like, they just told me that everybody is gone. They didn't close the whole place down. Now, that conversation, they're not going to mock you. They're not going to pick on you. They're not going to torment you because you did not get fired because of a shortcoming. You just inadvertently started your job at the wrong time, and the whole company changed its direction, and you were out with everybody else. Last one in, first one out. That's usually the policy. They fire their worst performers, but when the company is downsizing for financial reasons, last one in, first one out. The ones who don't have, you were there for 30 days. You didn't rack up unemployment compensation time. You didn't rack up pension time and stuff to that effect. You're going to get rid of you before they get rid of anybody else. But you didn't qualify for the job either. You just did the work good. You got in on a referral. So if they're subcontracting your job title to a company that can do the work better than you were doing it, that's it. Long as they're willing to give you a good referral, you're good to go. So yeah, I would just rip the bandage off. But how I would introduce it would not be I got fired, since you're not the only person that got fired. Everybody got fired, including me. Now the spotlight is not on you. Because if you say I got fired, well, what you do? And it's going to be condescending after that. But when you come home and be like, man, fuck, what happened? Man, everybody got fired today, bro. Like, I walked in there and they said, you too. Like, in that dynamic, like, what the fuck I do? Nothing. Everybody's fired. They're like, shit, that sucks. Let me call them and see if I can get them to rehire. You see what I'm saying? They got your back because you didn't do nothing. Right? But if you keep it a secret, now you're lying to them, and lying to them, just like lying to your wife in the last story, lying to your family is not a good thing to do as a man. And they're actually, when they find out, they're going to be more disappointed that you lied about being fired than what they're going to be condescending about the fact that you got fired. That's like the other dynamic of things. Like, keeping it a secret is like the worst part of bad news. Oh, I did it to protect you. No, you did it to protect yourself. You didn't know how you was gonna feel. You knew you was gonna feel bad. You didn't want them to find out. You just kept it a secret because you did not want to experience that moment. That deception, everybody's gonna be mad at that. The what happened that led to that deception don't even matter no more. That deception, that's all they're gonna be mad about. So just go ahead and rip that bandage off and let them know. All right, let's go ahead and touch base on another one.
I found in my husband's phone a couple of screenshots. We are both 29. One was from an artist/semi-popular figure in our circle in a skimpy bikini. The other was a screenshot from his friend's story on Instagram, showing her with quite revealed cleavage. We've been married for a year plus after being 4 years together, and I've caught him in the same situation like a year ago, few months after our wedding. I'm very disgusted, turned off, can't stand him. I confronted him and he expressed remorse, but honestly I don't care because I've heard the same justifications from men before. I honestly don't know. I feel like I'm giving a lot to this relationship, and now I see him as coward and a perv who doesn't respect me.
Okay, so you fucked up because you're snooping, looking for bullshit to cause a conflict. Past trauma from past relationships where men are looking at other women on social media and you're not okay with that because you're insecure with how you look. Instead of shaming them for looking at these outfits on these women, why not find out the core reasons why he's looking at these outfits on these women from a non-judgmental perspective? Not, why are you looking at her? It's like, well, what do you like about that photo? What is it? The outfit? Is it the girl in the outfit? What's going on? And then if it's just the way she wears that particular outfit or whatever the case may be, go get that and wear that for him at the house so he can look at you like that instead of looking at them like that. Because again, like the other woman a few comments ago, y'all be in sweats, stained up tee, all musty and stuff, hair looking like shit till you're ready to go outside. When you're ready to go outside, you spend 4 hours to make yourself look like a model so that you can go outside. But when you inside and you don't feel like even going to the door, you have your worst self in the house that your man got to look at on a regular basis, your boyfriend got to look at on a regular basis. If he's looking for a brief mental stimulation, the dopamine hit from looking at an attractive woman on social media, that instant gratification that does not technically cause any harm to his relationship because he's not having physical intimacy with another woman, but you're not presenting to him what he's looking at on this platform. Instead of him asking you to step up as a girlfriend and look like this around the house, he's getting what he needs away from you and not pressuring you to do anything. He said, hold on, I'm going to look until they throw dirt over. Looking at versus interacting are two different things. And that's exactly what I'm getting at. Because if he looking at her, he ain't having dirty talks with her on the DMs. He not linking up with these girls. He looking at a photo. 50 years ago, we had Hustler, Playboy, the dirty magazines our grandfathers had. Those men were married 30, 40, 50 years, and they had a collection of half naked and full naked women in books, in boxes, in the closet. You know the wife knew about them, because how the fuck is you gonna turn every box that's in the closet that used to have shoes in it now has porn in it, and the shoes are on top of the box? And this is women's shoes on top of the box. She knew. Just don't bring that sticky shit around me. That's all she had to say. So I mean, why are the women now insecure to the magnitude that they're not going to be the woman that the man wants to look at around the house, but they don't want him to look at a woman that is what he wants to see around the house? And then she disgusted because he a creep. No, she fucked up and failed because she's in a relationship. If he's looking at a certain style, because she can't, like, she could, but she shouldn't. She shouldn't have to get implants and surgeries and everything like that to look like the woman that is on the photo. But if the outfit that is in that photo, she can get her hands on, wear that shit for him around the house. That way he ain't got to look at that woman. He can look at you. You know what I mean? There's a reason why I went, oh, that's insecure. Because I can tell you what, if a man was dating a chick and he allowed her to have a social media platform for some god unknown reason, and she was looking at dudes that was like Chuck Norris, fucking Hulk Hogan, Bobby Lashley, Brock Lesnar, you know what I mean? Triple H in his 30s, you know what I mean? You know what her husband would fucking do? Take his ass to the motherfucking gym and start working out. He ain't gonna be like, why are you liking that photo? No, man, she want a buff dude. I'm gonna be a buff dude. Damn it. I'm gonna start spending 2 hours at the gym every day until I can make myself a buff dude. You know? That way she can look at me like that. You know? But no. They find any reason to get out. But again, this is the issue. She was tired of this relationship before she started snooping. And she also had some trauma from past relationships. And she used finding this out the second time. Because once she knew it was there the first time, it's like, we talked about this. You already know I do this. So the second time, it's like, oh, final straw. Fuck you mean? Like Steven said, I'm going to look until they throw dirt off me. Bro, I'm not going to look until they throw dirt over me. Bro, after they throw dirt over me, I'm still going to find a way to look. Bro, they could put me 20 feet under, and I'm still going to find a way to look. In the afterlife, if I can haunt some areas where I can get a peek in, I'm going to be quagmiring this son bitch, because that's what we do as men. Right? But like you said, looking is not interacting. Looking is not touching. Looking is not physical intimacy. It's different dynamics. So if she's going to say, if for every woman that says a man looking at another woman in a lustful fashion that is not his girlfriend is cheating, then a woman having an emotional bond with a man that is not her boyfriend, whether it's her best friend or whatever the case is also cheating. Same dynamic. Because men do the physical and women do the emotional. So on the equal platform, if me looking at her is cheating, then your gay best friend at Starbucks is also cheating. It's the same dynamic. Macintosh versus Samsung. All right, I think we got one or two more. Let's see what they are.
Did I lose something genuinely rare? Or just someone I idealized because she was beautiful and kind? I've been thinking a lot about my ex and what she was actually like in our relationship. She's honestly really beautiful, like very pretty face, pretty body. And also a genuinely kind and generous person. She cares about people, and she has these small, cute habits that I really liked. But when I think about her as a relationship partner, I don't know if she was actually that good. She didn't really prioritize me. She still talked to her ex. She said it's because she's kind and couldn't ignore them. Also brought up stuff from her ex's relationship every now and then, which annoyed me. Sometimes she would randomly go dry and stop texting properly. And she was stuck on one issue that happened before we even started dating and couldn't move past it, which is ultimately why we broke up. I let a girl physically flirt with me when my GF and I were in a situationship/talking stage, but I didn't reciprocate. I just didn't know what to do. So now I'm confused. Part of me feels like I lost someone really rare, someone who's super attractive and also kind and caring. I guess what I'm struggling with is this. Did I actually lose something that could have lasted long term, or am I just idealizing her because of how she looks and the good parts of her personality? She broke up with me, so I don't really have a say anymore, but I just can't figure out if I lost something truly valuable or something that wasn't right for me in the long run. Would really appreciate honest opinions.
Okay, so you lost something that wasn't right for you and that would not have worked out in the long run, and you're idolizing. Excuse me, you're idolizing her beauty and the things that you were attracted about her, the good sides of her, because she left you abruptly. You have to understand, first and foremost, she's still in contact with her ex. She has an emotional bond with her ex. No human being, male or female, can be in love with more than one person at the same time. They can have love for more than one person at the same time, but they cannot be in love with more than one person at the same time. So if she rekindles her relationship with her ex, her emotional attachment goes to him. Now, how does she rectify the situation? Because she's still in a relationship with you, but she kind of wants to get back with her ex and see if they can fix things. She's going to cause a fight with you about an insignificant situation that you can't do anything about. You can't fix it. You can't go back in time and undo the clock or anything to that effect. She's going to use that as an excuse for resentment. And if she can't push you away and force you to walk away, she's going to have a fallout, drag down argument, leave, and say that that argument was why we broke up, which then the argument is going to be your fault about something that you did that you probably had no control over, which makes it unfixable. And because it is unfixable, y'all can't be together. Now that y'all are broken up, in good conscience, she can go back to the ex that she's been talking to the whole time she's dating you, which is worse than her claim that you had a girl flirt with you before y'all became serious. She is still talking to her ex-boyfriend while you're still serious. That is just as bad, if not worse. She can't split hairs and say, oh, well, he was here before you. Yeah, but all she did was talk to me. I didn't reciprocate. So the difference is that she basically, this is guilt blaming. She feels guilty because she's still in a relationship with her ex, and she's going to use you getting flirted on with another girl as an excuse to break up with you so that she can get back with her ex, so that her cheating on you doesn't come out in society where her friends doesn't look bad at her because she lost a good man to get back with her ex. Her ex wasn't shit, which is why she left him, and she ain't shit, which is why she's going back to him. And she was about to make you feel bad about her not being shit so that you could blame yourself so that she can walk away scot-free with no emotional scars from you. I think that's fucking ridiculous. Steven says, what is a situationship? I hear that a lot now. I know what no strings attached and friends with benefits are. Situationships is new. Oh, well then you know exactly what a situationship is. A situationship is no strings attached, friends with benefits, untitled relationship. So we're doing the dating stuff without actually identifying ourselves as being in a couple. And that's why she's mad at him, because she wanted him to behave like a boyfriend while she was still exploring her options. When she thought she didn't have a better option than him, she was supposed to commit to him and then he was supposed to be the boyfriend now by title. He was the boyfriend by action without the title. So he had no attachmental claim to her. She could do whatever she wanted with whoever she wanted because they're not in a relationship, but he could not do whatever he wanted with whoever he wanted because she was involved. So if another woman comes up and talks to him, he's cheating on her. But she can talk to whatever guy she wants to talk to because they're not in a relationship. That's a situationship. It's a situation where we're in a relationship, but we're not in a relationship. We have the friends with benefits behavior, no strings attached on her end, but strings attached on his end because he can't talk to another woman, but she can talk to another man. That's a situationship. And it doesn't just happen one way. It happens when one of the two people, doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman, when one of the two people is serious and the other one is still exploring their options, we're in a situationship. It does happen more often with men than it does with women, but it does happen to women too. Women, it usually happens when the younger girls are dating older men that are married. They're in a situationship where he's swearing that he's going to leave his wife, but he's not. And then it happens with the younger men and any woman because those women are exploring their options and that younger guy is not what she wants, but if she can't find better, she'll settle for him. But women date up. They don't find the men that are on their level. So if she can't find a man better than the man that she has, she will stick with the man that she has, but she'll put him in her back pocket like an unlisted real estate option and keep him in a situationship or friends with benefits where friends with benefits is and no strings attached is like one stage away from situationship. The best part about no strings attached and friends with benefits, no strings attached is we don't even have to be friends. We just smash them whenever we're in the same place. Friends with benefits is that we hang out with each other. We are not supposed to express our emotional attachment to one another in open public. We're supposed to behave as if we are two different people in the same place at the same time, but we secretly smash like a dirty little secret, right? Like a felony that nobody knows about, right? A situationship is that we're going to behave like a couple, like the two of us are going to behave like a couple, but we're not in a relationship. So if anybody asks, you're not my partner. But because we're not in a relationship, if I want to talk to somebody else, I can. You can't, but I can. That's the situationship. And look, hey, if you find yourself in anything other than a committed relationship, you a damn fool. You need to walk away from that shit. So when this guy is like, oh yeah, when we were in a situationship, once you acknowledge that your relationship started with the situationship, you was down the wrong rabbit hole in the first place. And when you found out that your girlfriend or the girl that you wanted to be your girlfriend was still talking to her ex, you were going down the wrong path. I'm not dealing with baby daddy drama, ex-boyfriend drama. I am not dealing with ex-husband drama. I'm not dealing with anything that starts with an X and ends with a drama. I'm not dealing with it. Right? You got too many male best friends. I'm not dealing with that neither. If your social circle, you're single, all your homegirls are single, all the women in your family single, that's a red flag. None of y'all can keep a man. So how can you get advice from other women in your network on how to keep this man if the collective cannot keep a man? Which ultimately means that those women, once they see one woman happy, is going to all encourage that woman to get rid of that man so that they can all go back to being single and miserable together, talking about how all men ain't shit. He said, I'm too old for situations. You goddamn right. You and I both are too old. I've been too old for situationships for the last 15 years. I'm tired of this shit. And a lot of men are getting tired of it. Once we reach about 30, 35, we usually get tired of situationships. When we was younger, 15, 18, 25, we were, oh yeah, that's all right. Situationship, at least I'm getting sex. That's what we was thinking when we was young. But now, especially now that you're building your wealth up, bro, you don't want to be in a situationship because a situationship will lead you to an unplanned pregnancy. And now your whole estate is going on taking care of this child, hoping the child is yours. Take a DNA test. But if it is yours, now you're in a situation where you've changed your whole life's direction to provide for this child. But what women don't admit is that while the woman does do things for the child, it is at the man's expense. So even if she does have a job, he's taking care of the kid, he's taking care of her, she's taking care of herself, she might take care of the kid, nobody's taking care of the dad. And that means that if there's no money left over, nobody's building for the future, because she's spending every dollar that she gets, he's spending every dollar that he gets. They had lifestyle creep to make room for the child, so they're living paycheck to paycheck. And until the child is 18 or 20, when they can get the fuck out, y'all don't got a penny to y'all name. So y'all done been together 25 years now. Met 5 years before the child was born, was married 3 years. Now you got this child, the child 21. Y'all done been together for 25 years. Y'all ain't got a pot, neither a window, and the child has gone off to college. And this is typically the point when y'all get a fucking divorce, because y'all wasn't together because y'all loved each other. Y'all were there for the sake of the child. Now that the child is not here, we don't have a reason to pretend anymore. We didn't want to be together when the child was born. We stayed together. Friends with benefits in the house with the child, because we, and probably had 2 other children as a result of that, but we still did not like each other, did not tolerate each other. But until all the children were grown, we were going to stay married together. Bicker, don't communicate on different days and different weeks. And that dynamic would be the full childhood. These kids is going to think that this toxicity is normal. They're going to go find the same type of relationship and have a shitty life as adults. Look at the girl who left her husband because she grew up in a household that was broken. She's going to break her household because she couldn't get the family dynamic that she had access to. Just pick up the phone and call his sister. See what I'm saying? So yeah, if you talking to a female, she's got one option. That's it. It is yes. Now they're going to say, oh, what about no? What about no? Because everything that's not a yes, I'm going the other direction. Can we be friends? No. That's where the no-go come from. We can still hang out. No, the fuck we can't. Because as a man, if I'm not getting what I came here for, I am not going to put my estate into this friendship, this relationship, this situationship, this friends with benefits, this no strings attached dynamic, because a no strings attached dynamic is just like friends with benefits. It's just like a situationship. The dude gets sex, but he's going to buy the things that makes the girl smile. He's going to be there emotionally for the girl. He's going to validate the girl so that he can maintain his access to the sex. So you're going to give her boyfriend behavior with no commitment from the woman for a situationship, friends with benefits, and no strings attached dynamic. The only difference is how much less responsibility does she have in this dynamic. If I'm not getting commitment from her, I am not here. I'm not going to discuss it. I'm not going to debate it with her. If I'm not getting 100% commitment, and that commitment comes with obedience, if I'm not getting 100% commitment, then I'm not staying here. And a lot of men of value that value themselves, that values the estate that they're building for themselves, are not going to be in situations where they're around women that are not committing to them, because a millionaire can have 5 or 10 females on the roster. That's where a fucking roster comes from, because each female is getting paid for. She gonna come and live in this house. She gonna come and live in that house. She gonna come over here and do this. And whatever I'm gonna do with you, that's what I'm gonna do with you, because you're living off of my estate. The top 1% does that. You seen Donald Trump, $135,000 for a prostitute. Most of the broke folk get that same treatment for $20. Donald Trump paid $135,000 for it. It's the same thing. When you got money, Steven said, if it's not exclusive, I don't want it. Exactly. Well, it doesn't have to be exclusive. I can have like 10 of them. I think financially I should have like 3. That way I can alternate, and in case one of them get injured, I got a backup plan. 3. But each one of them is going to be exclusive to me. If I got three women and 3 kids, and all of them is half siblings, and all of us are staying in the same house, it's a big ass house. Everybody got their own room. Okay. All right. Y'all should take turns cooking, cleaning, making sure the shit's taken care of around the house. All together, y'all should make sure that the kids is right. When I start bringing the discipline down, but none of the females is gonna have a now another nigga, now another dude, none. Not the barista at the Starbucks, not the on the job buddy, not the work husband, work boyfriend, none of that shit. Your ass is out the door. And under the law, you out the door, not the child. The child gonna stay here. We got plenty of baby mamas in the house to take care of these kids. You can get the fuck on. No alimony and no child support. Just gonna be like, how you gonna take care of the child? The 2 other women in the house. What you mean? I got plenty of babysitters. She can go. He said, I mean, I'm single, so hookups could happen, but if it's not exclusive, you know, I don't want it for anything serious. You know, I'm at the time of my life when or where I want something serious. Well, but every man is going to be okay with the hookup. Every man is going to be okay with the one night stand. Every man is going to be okay with the woman that doesn't mind giving it up for nothing, because men are physical. But every man that commits to a woman is going to expect that commitment from the woman. Now, the difference is that financially challenged men are only going to be able to commit to one woman. Wealthy men can commit to plenty because she gets a piece of his estate. It doesn't matter if he's issuing it to her in allowance like the men do to the women in Dubai, or if she actually controls a portion of the state. What happens is that because you're committed to me, the access to my house, the access to my cars, and the access to whatever money and credit cards, whatever else that I allow to use to buy whatever it is that you buy, is going to come from you committing to me, because a man is going to share his resources with the woman or women that he commit to. And that's the reason why broke women that date broke men want men to be monogamous, because broke men can't afford to pay for 2 households. So if that broke man splits his money down the middle, a $50,000 a year man trying to pay for a woman on a $50,000 a year lifestyle is not going to be able to pay for 2 women on the same $50,000 a year lifestyle, because each woman's going to get $25,000, which means that each woman is going to have to either work harder to cover the difference, or she gonna have to kick one of the women out so that all of his money goes directly to her. That's what monogamy is about. That's what the monogamy is about. Because the man is broke, he can only afford 1 household, 1 family, so he's not allowed to have a second. But let your ass have a couple $1 million in the bank. Let your ass be making $200,000 in interest payments to you from a big ass brokerage account. Just like Nick Cannon, he got 5 children's birthdays 30 days apart. That means 5 kids was born in the same year. You understand me? Them 5 women don't give a fuck about the other 4. Yeah, he got like 12 or 13 kids. And all them women is good with it. Why? Because he's a multi-millionaire. He can afford to pay the child support, swing around and smash the baby mama, and potentially have another kid. Because if one kid is going to give her $50,000 a year worth of child support from the man, does she care who else he's sleeping with? No. Her standard of living is paid for as long as she take care of his child. That's what it is with the top 1%. So the top 1% can have 12 baby mamas as long as everybody getting a cut. But the bottom 25%, the middle 50%, those that's making less than $100,000 a year, that's living at 80% or 90% of their income, you don't got an extra. You don't have enough money to be like Usher in another state, letting it burn. You got a whole family on the side with the first wife and not knowing about the second wife kind of thing. You don't have that capability. You can't afford it. Monogamy is for poor people, not for the wealthy. But every man, rich and poor, is going to want however many women that he has exclusive to him. Even in Africa, even in the Muslim religions, The man can marry many wives, but none of them women can have an extra man. Man can have 10 wives, but them all 10 wives share one husband. It is what it is. Women don't have to agree with it, but you're here for his resources and he's here for your companionship. So if you give him your companionship, you get some of the house, you get some of the cars, you get some of the money. So yes, at your age, Stephen, your age, you in the same mindset that I'm in. We're looking for something serious, and we're not looking for something serious because we are now becoming serious men. We have always been serious men, and we are now looking for a serious woman because a lot of the women weren't serious. They were playing. They were out there trying to ride all the rides at the fair. You know what I mean? They were sampling the whole football team. We were just on the team at the time when they came through. Now we're looking for a serious person to potentially build a future with and start a legacy with. Mentalities have changed. Well, my mentality's been legacy driven for at least the last 25 years. It just wasn't in the right spot for it. But when we change from smashing all the girls with a pulse to finding one girl to build a legacy with, our behavior changes, our decision making changes, and then we look down on the female behavior that we used to be attracted to, because that, while it is good for a one night stand and short term engagements, it is not long term behavior. It's not the type of behavior that I want my child's mother to have. It's not the kind of behavior that I want my kids to have. My daughters. I don't want my daughters to behave this way. So now I'm not going to select women that do not represent what I want my wife to behave like or how I want my daughters to behave like. Because if she's behaving like this, she's going to teach this behavior to her kids. You see all the women on social media where they be dirty dancing, then they teaching little kids is dirty dancing. You might accidentally come across something on your For You page where some 8, 9, or 10-year-old is doing some shit that the adults be doing, and they're taught this from their mama and them. The mama, the auntie, the women that are irresponsibly behaving, they're teaching the kids how to dirty dance, so that by the time the kids are 16, 17, 18 years old, they're a felony waiting to happen because they're dancing like strippers as adults. Before they even 17, 18 years old, they barely hit puberty and they know how to hit the pole like the adults. So in order for you to prevent your daughter from coming out this way, you got to look at the female that you're talking to and say, okay, well, if she's behaving like this, I can only expect my child to behave this way. So that woman is not on my level. That's not what I'm expecting. That is not what I'm looking for. Special shout out to Don Hunter. So now we're going to change the whole way we look at life as we get older, as we're looking for the next generation, because make sure you like and subscribe as y'all coming through. The stuff that, yeah, we could scroll through social media and be like, oh yeah, like this girl in the thought fit. Oh yeah, like this girl in the hooker outfit. Oh yeah, like this girl in OnlyFans, because we're just looking. But when we tell our girlfriend and our wife, don't go outside looking like that. The negative thoughts that I had about that woman on that social media platform is the reason why I don't want you to look like that, because I don't want other men looking at you the way I was just looking at that woman. He said men also need to choose who they have babies with wisely. Look, now, I've been telling women that the women need to make better choices. But the men need to be picking the women up a whole lot more effectively as well. It's more than you just got to get to know the women. The dynamic is, and I've been saying this for a long period of time, is that first and foremost, the men and the women are getting into these relationships for all the wrong reasons. Like we just had somebody commented about an hour ago about how she got married because she was pregnant, and he bought a house because she got pregnant, and they were getting married, so they're going to move in together and all this other stuff. Because both men and women get into the relationship for all the wrong reasons. He's getting into it for the sex. She's getting into it because of how much he's spending on her. And that's where the relationship starts. It's a relationship of convenience. Then the inconvenience comes because a child is born. Now you got a 20-year commitment, like a no contract cell phone. Long as you're leasing this phone, you don't have a contract, but as long as you got this fucking phone, you got to pay the phone bill. As long as you got this child, you got to stay in the marriage. That's what happens. Now, dudes that are looking for a consistent sex partner might find themselves in a no commitment situation because she doesn't want him, but he wants her. And they're able to have sex until she gets pregnant. Now, you got to pick your chicks. There's no reason why you're in a situationship with a woman that can't be committed to you. You shouldn't even be in a situationship. He said, stress commitments every day, all day. These are realize 6 months later. Oh, then you realize 6 months later, we have not much in common. It don't take 6 months. Typically, she lose interest in your ass 3 months in. And then 3 months later, she tell you, 3 months after she tired of this shit, then she tell you. But she been tired for 3 months. And now she gonna tell you 6 months later that she tired of the shit. But she'll usually tell you that she tired of it when she is ready to go. She has already emotionally removed herself from the situation. She's gone through the grieving process, gone through the detachment process, and now she is ready to tell you that she is done. You are gonna get hit like a ton of bricks. You're finding out today that there's a problem. She done already moved on. Probably got her boyfriend outside ready to pick up all her stuff, talking about something. That's my friend from work. She ready to go. And now you're left with no closure, unresolved issues, and she's gone. But it's a situation out of convenience. A lot of people get into a situation out of convenience. And then when it's no longer convenient, whoever's no longer convenienced by it, whether it's the man or the woman, tends to walk away. And it's crazy. But the breakups is going to happen out of the blue. And sometimes the relationship is just going to phase out. It's not going to be a drop down, drag out argument. It's not going to be no big old fight. The women make it a big fight when the women leave out of convenience. She's got to have an argument with you. Y'all got to have an argument over some shit that you couldn't fix, that was outside of your control, so that it is that because you can't fix it, it's your fault and we have to break up. But with the man, it's just, we just stop talking to one another. Because a man doesn't have to leave a woman when the relationship is no longer convenient. He's just going to walk away. But with the woman, for her society, for her network of women, she doesn't want to say, oh, well, I just didn't invest my efforts into this relationship, so I just walked away from a good dude. No, I left him because he was cheating on me and he did this and he was looking at this girl on social media. He wasn't looking. He wasn't sleeping with her. He wasn't telling her nothing dirty on social media. He liked her photo 4 times, so I broke up with him because he was being deceitful. And nah, bitch, you ain't want his ass no more. That's why you left. That's why you left. You didn't give a fuck about what he was doing on social media before you were tired of his ass. But once you were tired of his ass, all it took was one photo on his For You page, and that was it. All he got to do is be sitting in the background cooking with Kaya, and you're in a fucking 4-year divorce. He said, facts. That's why I break it off first when I already sense the writing on the wall. But see, you're running from the situation before the situation went south, but when you got into it, you realized that this wasn't what you wanted in the first place, but you stayed there for a little bit because the sex was good. But once you realized that this was about to start getting bad, that's when you that's when you walked away from it. He said, facts, goes to play video games and focus out own life, and she gonna hyper focus on its guys. Easier to shut stuff out, not all the time though, but usually. Yeah. Oh yeah. She gonna trip. She gonna trip. You not gonna trip. You just gonna be like, it is what it is. It's whatever. You're gonna let her slide. You're gonna do you. You're not gonna focus on her no more. You're just gonna do you. And then after you finish doing you, then you know she's either gonna stay or she gonna leave. You got some men that will be with a girl for like 9 months. He tired of her bullshit. So he'll come home, hug the kids, go to the fridge, grab the beers, go to the garage. That's his man cave. And yep, smoke a joint, eat a sandwich, drink some beers with the bros. Don't talk to me. And then she will go the whole afternoon without seeing her husband. And then she'll go to bed. And he will go to bed in another room. And it'll stay that way until she decides to get the fuck out, because he's not going to get rid of his wife. It's cheaper to keep her. But if she decides that she won't get the fuck out, thank you, Jesus. He said, she'd tear if I had hopes, if not just gain. You know, I say, well, that was dumb. Well, if we if we have higher hopes than actual expectations, because we're supposed to be standing on our non-negotiable expectations for behavior. He said, I've seen that too. We're supposed to be standing on our non-negotiable expectations for behavior. But as men, we were taught, because a lot of men, 82% of men were raised by women. So we were taught to be submissive to women. We learn how to become masculine men by stop putting up with certain bullshit. And we start being more of masculine men in our mid 30s and early 40s. So when we were younger, whatever we had to do to get the girl, buy her nice things, take her nice places, please, 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 come on, begging her to go out on the first day. We're bribing her with the first date. We're going to bribe her with the second date. We're going to bribe her with the third date. Then this becomes regular behavior pattern. Now we're spending all this extra money. It takes 41% of a man's income to satisfy a woman in a relationship, but she only benefits from 23% of it. So the other 18% is just us wasting money on her to make her smile, so that she can stay here and benefit from us paying for her to smile, right? Now, after a while, we reach a certain age where we realize that makes no fucking sense. Because if you want what I got, then you're going to sit and stay when I tell you to sit and stay. You don't want to sit and stay and get the fuck on. But when you reach a certain age where you're like, you know what, I'm not even going to try no more. Because you know what kind of man you are. And that's why some of these gender war conversations really start getting rugged, because women never think about this from the perspective of the complaint is coming from the good men that will wait on you hand and foot and put you on a pedestal, not a queen. The complaint is not coming from the men that could beat your ass on the side of the road like Chris Brown. Those men don't give a fuck what you got to say. The men that are complaining are the men that would cater to your every whim. So if that man would give you everything that you wanted from him to the best of his ability, the complaint is, why will those women not give that same man everything he wants from his woman at the same time? Reciprocation. They want the top 25% of men to spoil them, and all they're going to do is give them sex. The $50,000 a year man can get that from Backpage. He said, I agree. I've reached to the point 20s, but I'm an old soul that I don't give a fuck. You're going to have McDonald's at best, and you're going to like it. Bro, you spending so much money on these broads, bro. You said McDonald's? McDonald's? I spent $25 on myself at McDonald's and bought my dog some nuggets. Like, I'm talking about my actual dog. My puppy got a 10-piece nugget, and I got me a combo meal, and it was $25. You taking it out for McDonald's? That's goddamn golly. I would have took her out for a fucking coffee. Shit. We spending $10 between the two of us. That's $10 between the two of us plus gas. That's it. He said, for first date, I just get to know each other. The public places, and I'm not gonna drop $150 like I've been doing. I was young on first dates. Now I'm like $30. That's it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not doing that shit, bro. I'm fucking. She gonna get. We get $10, bro. $10. McDonald's is expensive as fuck, bro. I'm not taking no. Like, I need to know what your last name is before I start talking about taking you through the drive-through and getting the burnt coffee from breakfast on a discount at lunch. Back in the day, had 40-piece nugget deal for $10. Right. But right now, you got the 10-piece nugget for $10. I'm not about to do that shit. Like, we not about to go. No. We can go get. I want 2 cups of water. Don't they charge you 10 cents for a cup of water at McDonald's right now? They charge you for the cup. I want 2 cups. That's all I want. I want 2 cups. Nowadays, 2 cups with ice in it, bro. We'll figure something out. $10 is pushing it. 2 McDonald's coffees are under $5. But that's what I'm trying to tell you. $10 between the two of us. So if you get 2 coffees and we gonna split a 6-piece nugget, that's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. We ain't getting nothing else. Three nuggets for you, 3 nuggets for me, 2 cups of coffee. 2 small cups of coffee too. Shit. I might take your ass to a Waffle House or something, and the coffee over there is like $2 and a free refill. That for $5. And we can sit there for an hour. if I like you enough in that hour, then I might order something to eat. Like we really we gotta understand as men, because he said McDonald's too expensive. I like KFC chicken sandwich. Uh, come out to like $12, but the sandwiches are filling. I ain't trying to eat, bro. You can go get you a Subway sandwich. You can go get you a foot long spicy Italian sandwich for like $10, and each of y'all get a 6-inch. You know what I mean? And then you each y'all get a 6-inch for, and that's filling for the moment with a cup of water. You know what I mean? He said no nuggets, just a coffee. That's what I'm talking about, Steven. That's what I'm talking about. The dog. That's what I'm talking about. What we gotta understand is that when we was younger, we used to impress the girl to get the girl to stay long enough for us to find out if we like the girl. Now we are prioritizing, or we should be prioritizing, finding out if we even like the girl. And there is a difference between I want to sleep with you and I want to do more than sleep with you. I want to sleep with you is $5 at McDonald's or like $1.50 somewhere, and I don't really got to do nothing. I want more from you than sex. That's when we start talking about $25 a person kind of thing. But I got to know if you're worth that. Coffee is very good. Black coffee, no cream, no sugar. I ain't gotta pay. I gotta put no money. Man, motherfucker, I can make coffee at the house. You see these big ass cups? These be full of coffee. I can make 2 of these for $1.50 a piece. Make my own coffee, man. That's what I'm saying. I don't need to be out there spending all this extra money for these coffee. But that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like we need to find out. Like for example, I said one time, and this is expensive, but it makes sense. I said a good first date costs you a little bit of money, but it's worth it. Figure out what your favorite meal is. Figure out what her favorite meal is. Get the ingredients offline. Go to the grocery store together. That's part of the date. Go to the grocery store together. Buy the ingredients for your food and her food. Go back to either your place or hers. Cook the food. Make her food. Make your food. Then sit down and eat it together. What you're going to do is you're going to be able to see how she cooperates, how she negotiates, if she's going to follow instructions, if you can work together as a team, if she's going to offer to pay for the shit at the grocery store. Whoever pays keeps the leftovers. So if she buys the food, she keeps the leftovers. If you buy the food, you keep the leftovers. Doesn't matter who pays. What matters is we're going to go back to somebody's house and we're going to try to make this food together. Now, y'all can have a whole romantic afternoon cooking, wine, laughing, talking, bonding over an activity. By the time y'all finish dinner, you might have spent $100 on 5 days worth of food. And whoever paid for the shit get the 5 days worth of food. You got a wife by the end of that day. Or that you're not going to eat today because you didn't make it to the damn plate of food. That's a golden date. That's a golden date. And how do you decide whose house we're going to? Who's got the most pots and pans to cook with? That's how you decide whose house you're going to. Because I prefer to make my own food unless I'm really tired. But see, what you need to do, fasting. Hey, you can fast and cook for her, but what you need to do is you need to cook for her. She cook for you. Y'all cook together. So you're not going to be sitting there watching a game, playing video games while she's in the kitchen. Y'all are going to be in the kitchen together, working this out together, because the goal is on your first date is to see, is she going to cooperate with you? Will she follow your lead? Will she follow instructions? Will she help? Will she contribute? Or will she be a problem? Because if she's not going to, if she's going to talk back, oh, I know what I'm doing, I got this, you ain't got to tell me what to do. That on the first date leads to a girl cussing you out after the marriage. You know what kind of woman you got based on how cooperative she is. I know a lot of women right now, I tell them off the gate, they ask me, what you looking for in a woman? I'm going to give them a deal breaker out the gate. I'm looking for an obedient woman. Hands down, all of the most toxic women are going to walk away from that statement. All the good women are going to still be standing there. And what else? What else are you looking for? Okay, you want an obedient woman. What else do you want? You know, the ones that are kind of good, but they're kind of not worth having. Well, what do you mean by obedient? Let me see if I can get behind that. But every woman that's a toxic woman that a man should not be with, if you start your first statement off as, well, I'm looking for an obedient woman. That's it. That's it. That one statement will shut the whole system down. Now, when I say that, women are not going to want to hear it. But think about this. Every man, every single man in a relationship will do whatever his wife tells him to do, will do whatever his girlfriend tells him to do, hands down. Pick up this couch, move this chair, grab the groceries, go get the laundry bags, move the car, change the tire, take this picture off the wall, nail this up, go get the kids, go do this, go do that, lift the toilet seat, all whatever a woman wants. Yes, dear, right away, dear. No complaints. I could just be laying down to get started watching my favorite show. You call my name and find something for me to do, and a man is going to get up and go and get that shit done. Do you know what that's called? Fucking obedience. Now, reciprocation means if that's the kind of man I'm going to be, regardless, because most men are that way when we really love a woman, then why the fuck can't she be obedient too? When I tell you, babe, I need you to take the car to the shop because I ain't got time for it. Why I gotta be obedient? I ain't obedient to no man. So what she's saying is, I'm not gonna cooperate with you. You're gonna do as I say. You're gonna be submissive to me, but I'm not gonna reciprocate that. That's not gonna work. A healthy relationship is a codependent relationship, and a codependent relationship means that I can depend on you to do as I say the same way you can depend on me to do what you say. That's equality. Women don't want equality. Women want unilateral control. And the problem wouldn't be that women want unilateral control. The problem is that women are not attracted to men when the women have the unilateral control. So if you submit to her and don't stand on your authority, she does not want you anymore because you are not in charge. She wants a man that's in charge, but she wants to challenge his authority to make sure that he still has authority. Soon as he loses that authority with her, ironically, she loses her attraction with him. So you cannot grab a woman that says, well, I am not going to be obedient. Well, then you are toxic. Because every woman wants a leader. And a leader is going to delegate instructions to the followers, to the dependents. The president of the United States, $4+ billion man, listens to 20+ men tell him where to go in this world, when to go, when to sit down, when to stand up, when to leave a room, when not to go into a room. He's a billionaire, and he has the CIA telling him where the fuck he's going to be at in this world. Right? Now, a woman is not going to have her husband, who pays for the majority of shit. When he dies, she gets all of his shit, to tell her anything. What that means is that now that she's dating him or married to him, his whole estate is now her estate, and he is her court jester. She's not attracted to that, but that's the control that she wants. It doesn't work. The relationship is not going to last. Like you said, it's going to be very similar with Lions. In order for her to feel comfortable in this relationship, she has to know that she has a leader, which means that he has to know that he has a follower. She can be independent, or not independent, but self-sufficient, because there's a difference between independence and self-sufficiency, because independence and self-sufficiency are intertwined in conversations, but true independence is sacrificing the team, like LeBron James. A team player is self-sufficiency. I'm going to hold the fort down until reinforcements come. Reinforcements is your husband. Now that he's here, he can lead. But until he comes back, I lead. Until he comes back, I'm second in command. But he dies before me, right? So, I say this all the time. When King Arthur conquered the world, He did not have a rebellion in his kingdom. His queen backed his play until he got back. He said, it makes sense. I'm hella tired, but I agree 100%. You know, but that's what it is. I'm about to wrap it up in a minute, but it's crazy because we don't pay attention to these things. We allow ourselves to be in these situations because of the good sex, because she's attractive, that we then become her servant. But she's not attracted to that. A man of more value will maintain his position in masculinity in his relationship, and he's going to be the person that dictates terms because it's his resources that she's benefiting from in the first place. She is not bringing anything to this relationship. She's not bringing 5 houses and 40 cars and a multi-billion. She's not bringing a Tesla stock to the relationship. You know, women say, well, I got a career where she submits to her boss, but she won't submit to her husband. She won't be late for work, but she'll make you late for an important meeting because she has to finish her hair, right? She doesn't prioritize your time, but she prioritizes that guy's time, and that guy pays her by the hour. You pay for her entire life outside of it, right? That's not going to work for us. That's not going to work for us. She's here for what I got to offer, which means that she has to be able to conform to my expectations. If I'm going to be the man that gives her everything that she wants, or I'm going to give her everything that she needs and some of the things that she wants, because you can't give them everything and have unrealistic expectations. I'm going to give you everything that you need and some of the things that you want. And since you're going to get more of what you want than what you should be getting, I should be getting everything that I need and some of the things that I want, right? And one of the things that I need in order for me to run this ship right is for you to cooperate with the captain of the ship. I'm not going to be Jack Sparrow in my relationship. I'm a husband without a wife. Fuck that shit. Where your wife at? Girls' night out. Dropping it like it's hot in the club with other men. No. But you will know what kind of woman that you're getting yourself into if you dictate terms from the beginning. Because if they're looking for it, one of the things you're looking for, what you ask her, because she's going to be like, well, what do you want in a woman? But if you ask her first, because this is one of the things, and I've heard this before, and I think that this is fantastic advice. Instead of telling a woman everything about you, just have her entertain you. Tell you a story. Tell you something about her. Let her be on the spotlight for you. This isn't just an interview phase where you're asking 1,001 questions. Tell me something. Entertain me. Talk to me. Tell me something about yourself. Give me some past about you. What do you look for in a man? I just want to know. Right? And as soon as she said, well, I'm looking for, he's nice, he's kind, they don't give a fuck about your character or your personality. But that's the bullshit that they're supposed to say. And then they're going to say, well, I'm looking for a strong masculine leader. Triggered. And then it doesn't matter what she says after that. Oh, I like to travel. Gold digger. I like nice things. Expensive gold digger. Yeah. But as she goes through it, you're thinking, okay, well, she did say she's looking for a leader. All right, good. That means that I'm going to lead. Now, let's see if she's going to follow. She's going to ask you that reciprocated question. Well, what do you look for in a woman? I look for a lot of things, but one of the first things that I pay attention to is I'm looking for an obedient woman. Are you an obedient woman? Second thing I'm looking for is a legacy. Are you willing to provide me with a legacy? Now, I can get into the rest of the stuff, but if you're going to be obedient and provide me with a legacy, those are deal breakers. Because if you're not going to be obedient and you're not going to provide me with a legacy, the conversation doesn't have to go beyond that. You see how quick the whole situation. I just asserted my authority. I just showed her what the main things I'm expecting out of this situation. Because I don't want no shit, and I want a legacy that's not going to give me no shit. Y'all seen them videos where the dude got the child hitting the man and, oh, don't go in. No, I'm going to whoop his ass, whoop your ass too. Matter of fact, I can tell you what was it like 10 years ago? I was dating a single mom, and I said no shoes outside will get your ass whooped. All the kids will put their shoes on before they went outside. Mom went outside barefoot. I got the belt and I took it to her ass. And the kid was sitting there laughing. Mama's in trouble. Damn right. I said, no bare feet outside of this house. You go outside. You either getting your ass whooped when you come back in, or you're not coming back in the house. She got the ass whooping to come back into the house. After that, every time she went outside, where my shoes at? There is no, either you meant for the kids. No, I looked at all three of y'all and I said, do not go outside without shoes on. I didn't say that to little Jimmy or little Tiffany. I said it to all three of y'all. Don't go outside with no shoes on. You see, when I go outside, I don't go outside barefoot neither. When I said don't go out, the rules of the house was do not go outside with no shoes on. They went outside with no shoes on. She went outside with no shoes on. The kids put their shoes on before they even they didn't even sit in the doorway and put their shoes on with their feet outside. They stayed in the house and put their shoes on in the house before they went outside the house. As soon as the mama stepped outside that, belt on the ass, because you're going to follow instructions. Now, they're going to, that he abusive. Well, look, I'll tell you what. Chris Brown ain't had no problem with it. How many women? 21 women he done, but he flights of stairs and everything to that effect. You shouldn't have to be physical with your woman. You should be able to communicate. You should be able to articulate. But at the end of the day, you got to look at the mutual respect there that doesn't exist in a lot of relationships. And if you're dating a female and the female is not going to show you that respect in the first 10 dates, it's not going to get better. The longer you stay in a relationship where she's not showing you the respect that you expect, I'm not talking about what you deserve, what you expect from her. If you're not getting the behavior from her that you expect from her, you're not going to get it down the line. You can't put your foot down 9 months into the relationship. You can't change the way she was allowed to behave because you're getting married. You can't change the way that she was allowed to behave after you got married. Whatever the fuck she was before you married her, that's what the fuck she's going to be after you marry her, if not worse. Whatever she was at the engagement, when you proposed to her, that's what she's going to be like at the marriage, and that's what she's going to be like after the marriage. So if she wasn't wife material before you got engaged, she's not wife material after you marry her. She will not be wife material during the marriage, and y'all are going to end up getting a divorce because you didn't marry a wife. You married a 304 that didn't leave. Because if you marry a wife, she will become a widow, because you will stay with her until you die. No matter how many other wives you get, you will stay with your wife until you die. You are not going, as long as she's a wife material, your wife will never go nowhere like a chocolate lamp. She will always be there. But if you do not have wife material, she's not yours. It's just your turn. She's always for the streets. But like Captain Kirk, you try to turn her into a housewife, and it ain't never going to work. Now, that's all I got for you guys for tonight. I want to start off by saying, ladies, as long as the situation doesn't make sense, I'm going to keep asking ladies to make it make sense. So, ladies, please make it make sense. Fellas, I give y'all this information to help y'all become higher value men. You have to prioritize the things in your life that are inside of your control, and then navigate around the things that are outside of your control so that you can improve your life and improve your decision-making skills, because your success depends on you. Her success depends on you. Because some of the richest women in this world became, outside of Oprah, some of the richest women in the world got rich out of divorce. Not because of good business decision skills. All right? And for us to find the women that we claim to be valuable, we have to make that $100,000 a year or more status so that the women will want to talk to us in the first place. So if I've got to spend 3/4 of my life becoming the kind of man that this woman will accept, then she's going to have to accept my expectations at the same time. And we need to stand on our non-negotiable expectations about that. We're not folding, because I love you, nose wide open. She got bad habits, but I think her bad habits are cute. They bad habits now, they're going to piss you off later. That's what we call pet peeves. It's shit that I allow right now because the relationship is new. But once we get used to one another, that shit's going to get on my fucking nerves. And that's going to be one of the reasons why we break up. So you need to make sure that this is what you want. Not make sure that you are what she wants. I don't give a fuck if I'm what she wants, because if I don't want her, I don't give a damn if she wants me. So we need to pay attention to prioritizing ourselves first, because we're going to give her whatever she asks for to the best of our ability, if that is the woman that we want. So since we know that 50% of the deal is already guaranteed, it's a performance relationship now. Is she going to perform for this or not? Now ask yourself, when has your employer ever paid you for not performing on the job and not fired your ass after they realized your ass wasn't performing. Usually, they don't hire you if you don't show them your value. Same way a man shouldn't marry a woman if she doesn't show her value. And usually, they fire you if you don't maintain that value. And men need to spend more time walking away from women that don't maintain their value. Because just like a woman gets with a man for his resources, we go to work for the job's resources. The job is benefiting from our presence, and we are benefiting from the resources. The man is benefiting from her presence, and she is benefiting from the resources. So she needs to show value wherever a man says value is needed in order for her to be here. And otherwise, she needs to be replaced. Before we're too emotionally invested, before we're too financially invested, before we're in too deep, get out early. A lot of relationships last 1 year, 5 months, 6 days, because we spend the first 3 days blinded by the passion, the next 9 months negotiating it, and the remaining time breaking up, arguing about it. Set your standards in the beginning and then stand on them throughout. If you're not going to get what you're looking for in the first few days, you say you want kids and she say that she's not interested in kids right now. Okay, I'm not interested in you right now. Maybe later in life. Nah, fuck that. You come talk to me later in life when you're ready to have kids if you're not too old. If I ain't found somebody else half your age. Got to look at this now. So ladies, while I tell y'all all the time, this is a male-driven podcast from a male's perspective. You too can make yourselves higher value women. You got to pay attention to this information now. This benefits y'all both ways. Because if you prioritizing yourself and prioritizing him, what you're expecting to get from him, you have to ask yourself, what are you willing to do to get that? And if you're willing to meet his expectations, that's the man for you. But if you're not willing to meet his expectations, you need to shove, because you just lingering for his resources is not going to benefit you, because you're not happy in a relationship that you're in. And as long as you got a man paying for you, another man is not going to want to come pay for you. So I'm going to tell y'all, ladies, y'all got to prioritize y'all 20, 30-year goals. Where you want to see yourself in the next 20, 30 years. You reverse engineer that situation all the way down to the steps that you got to do today. If you pay attention to the drive and ambition, the determination, the integrity, the personality, the characteristics of the man that you're talking to, long-term dream, long-term vision that can include your ass in it, that is the man that you want to partner with, because y'all can achieve each other's goals over the lifetime of your relationship. And two people can get there faster than one, trying to reach $1 million. But y'all have to prioritize growth with each other, not lifestyle creep, growth with each other. Grind out for 10 or 15, and the next 30 is cakewalk. But if you live in a life of rally, the first 15, you grinding for another 30. You got to change the way you make decisions. Now, I appreciate y'all for lingering with me for the last 2 hours and 42 minutes. We're going to be talking about how things have skyrocketed. We're going to be getting some detailed information and giving y'all up to the day information, because I'm not going to go up to the minute because I got to run the show. But I'm going to be giving you guys more details about what's going on with the Strait and how that's going to impact our profits. And we're going to be talking about some other things like on Tuesday, we're going to be discussing the special needs schools and how they're being defunded, or they're straining from the lack of funding. And then we're going to be giving you guys a lot of information on how to make, save, and invest money and navigate around the changes in our economy and geopolitical trades, so that you guys can pay attention to what's happening around you, because this is the time to get you good, right? We don't want to miss out. So want you guys to make sure that y'all swing back by tomorrow. I will thank you guys for coming to This and That. I'm your host, Xander, where we talk about this, that, and everything in between. And I will see you guys tomorrow night.
Higher ground! Used to chase validation, now I validate my
That's my personal command. I'm not mounted on higher ground where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds, raising the bar, breaking ground. I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision, cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield to mediocrity and chaos. I will never I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision, cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield to mediocrity and chaos. I will never yield.